and your family. Apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
Winter is just around the corner. Is your vehicle ready? Don't get left out in the cold. At A1 Automotive, we prep your car for whatever winter throws your way here in Nebraska. For battery checks, brake inspections, tires, heaters, whatever your car needs to keep you and your family safe on the road, we've got you covered. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
And now, introducing the starting lineup of your Nebraska Huskers. Starring Allo Fiber. At number 1, Allo Internet. At number 2, no satellite dish required. DirecTV through Allo. And at number 3, Allo Mobile. Allo Fiber, the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of Husker Nation. Level up your game and go to allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Comfort food, but make it vegan. At Rutabagas, they're serving all your crave-worthy classics. Mac and cheese, loaded nachos, Philly cheesesteaks, all 100% plant-powered and 100% delicious. Catch them at their cozy spot at 70th and Vine, or find their food truck rolling through the streets of Lincoln. So whether you're vegan, veg-curious, or just hungry for comfort food with a twist, Rutabagas has a plate waiting for you. Find them on Instagram for their food truck location and specials. Rutabagas, where comfort meets compassion.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
This holiday season, bring home a tradition that tastes like celebration. Beatrice Bakery's world-famous fruitcake, baked in the heart of Nebraska with rich, golden batter, real cherries, pineapple, crunchy nuts, and a splash of old-fashioned goodness. It's moist, flavorful, and crafted the same way for generations. It's the fruitcake that turns skeptics into believers. Find Beatrice Bakery Fruitcake online at grandmasbakeshop.com or at your favorite retailer, and make your holidays deliciously unforgettable with the help of Beatrice Bakery's world-famous fruitcake.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Leaves are falling and temperatures are cooling down, but don't put your golf clubs away. Double Eagle Golf makes golf leagues and events possible year-round. Winter leagues begin on December 1st and are open for registration. Check out their deals on monthly memberships and schedule your Husker Watch parties, birthday or bachelor parties, corporate or team outings, or just a good old Saturday with the boys. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Book a tee time today or learn more at doubleeagle.golf.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we need some light in the situation, but you got Jay Foreman, Nick Sainer. Old School, we're live out here at Liquid Assets 27th and Jamie Lane, Nebraska Great Foundation event. So this is our second time out here. Great atmosphere, great drinks, great food, great people. So we're finishing off the week on a high note. Nicholas, how was your day?
Jay, what's up, my friend?
Look at you looking dapper, man. Look at you, man. I mean, this is, when you come to Liquid Assets and you get out here in front of people, and you got to do some business. Look at you. Look at you.
Do I look okay?
Yeah, you do. I mean, it's like seeing the maturity you come out here, man. So
I learned from the best.
Okay.
I mean, look at you. You came out in a hoodie and sweatpants.
Nothing's changing. See, that's the difference. See, you get, that's what consistency does for you. Mm-hmm. That's what wins.
Somebody else who's consistent, our friends at the Mercado, Jay.
Yeah, and today is a day that you could get I call it a bonus grill day in, 40 to 45 degrees. So you can head over there. They got 4 locations, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 85th and Andermatt, and 168th and Maple if you're listening up there in the O. They got plenty of choices. I love going over there.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. We're right next to one.
It's a Grill Masters holiday.
What do you have any plans to fire it up this weekend?
No, I'm going to take my grilling inside, man. I'm trying to expand my game.
What does that look like?
Well, I got a couple cast irons, and I got a camping propane grill, and I'm gonna take that, open up the garage. Hopefully, it's a little cold weather. Get some space heaters, and then not gonna be on the grill, but on a makeshift grill, just in case I'm stuck out there in the wilderness.
Yeah,
I got to be able to survive.
See, I've frequented Liquid Assets multiple times over the last couple of months since they've been open. Relatively new spot here in South Lincoln, and Mike.
Not
and the
relatively
team.
new. I mean, since March. I mean, that's not very new. I mean, we're almost going to be on a
it's
calendar
less than a year.
Yeah,
Okay.
technically.
Okay.
Yeah, technically Tim over here, but yes, reality has been open and it's been popping.
So here's the deal, though. I've had to frequent, and I'm not disagreeing with it, but it's because time and time again, the mess. Hey, I'm going to invite you over this weekend for some ribs. I'm going to invite you over for some stuff, and then time and time again, phone goes silent.
Oh, so and you hang out at Liquid Assets.
My
then, right?
ringer is on, but my phone goes silent.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal.
You have no problem texting me whenever you need something else.
Here's the deal. We got plenty of friends in here. We do. For you though, that has multiple friend groups. I think the invite gets lost. It gets lost in
such
the
a lie, and you know it.
I'll have you over. But you know what though? It is great out here. It's a phenomenal place. It's obviously a sports bar, tons of sports on. I was telling Mike yesterday when he stopped down for Old School, the space in the atmosphere is awesome. So he's done a really good job. I tell people always to come out. The food is great. We have a great event today with Nebraska Greats Foundation. We got my man Eric Crouch in the building right now, and Monty. So we'll get to that. But the news of the day, I guess, Nick, obviously, is Emmett Johnson has decided to turn pro.
Yeah.
So you always want to support him in that. I mean, he earned it, and he'll do great. And so I think it's a good thing even though we lose a great player, I think it's great for the football team, for the football program. And obviously it comes the day after signing day, so it's strategic. And so he's going to let the football team, have their day with the signing period. But more importantly, he's going to take his talents hopefully to the NFL and have a long career.
What has this been done for his draft grade? I think that on the surface that's a generalized question, but this is a guy that has struggled for whatever reason, whether it's been performance, whether it's been coach's decision, change in offense coordinator. Right at the beginning of his career was Marcus Satterfield, who was the offensive coordinator. Dana Holgorsen comes in, and this year looks quite a bit different. But for the trajectory of Emmett Johnson, this is a guy that we were wondering if he was even going to be here in 2025, and now here we are, just 12 short, quick games later. And we're talking about him being a day 2 NFL guy potentially. Yeah,
potentially. Obviously, I think this year has been great for him. I think that it started the last 3 or 4 games when, Dana Holgorsen took over. And, he's been off to the races ever since. I think you saw a snapshot on what potentially he could do. And then, obviously, I think he raised his game, 2 or 3 times over the summer or the spring, summer, and then, obviously, during the season to have a really good season for him. And draft going – early for the draft, you kind of look who's coming out compared. So obviously, he has a really good agent and all that stuff. So I'm sure he knows where he's going to go. Anywhere from 3rd to 5th round, and you obviously always go. He can move up, and he's going to make a lot, some good money, and people are going to be able to use his skill set. The reason why I think Emmett is appealing is because he's a 3-down back. Obviously, they do a lot of by committee now, but when he's shown. When you need him to be the bell cow, he can do it in the hardest league, in the the closest thing to being in the pro league, and he got better down the stretch. And so it was probably strategic. You go out on top per se, 200-yard game, even though in a loss to Iowa, you definitely did your part.
I think also another thing with Emmett, and you've mentioned this before on our post-game shows, has been the fact of just staying focused throughout the year. So there's so many national stories, right, of guys losing focus or guys prioritizing other things than simply just what's on the field. And you've been as big of defender of Emmett as anybody I've seen actually publicly talk about it in terms of staying focused, keeping his head down, and the results actually paid off for him.
Yeah, nothing changed. Obviously, he's got a pretty big social media following, but you didn't really see much during the season.
No.
He knew when it was football time, it was time to play football, and he played it well. And you want to tip your hat to somebody. It's a little bit of old school mentality. You just go to work and let your play do the talking. And the more notoriety he got, he didn't change. He didn't, every day he was in there working, every day that he was in there rehabbing, every day he was practicing as hard as he can. And it paid off on Saturdays or, whenever, or Fridays or Saturdays when Nebraska played. And that's what you need. You got to be consistent. You got to put in the same work every day. Sometimes there's uncontrollable things that you can't control. And the only thing that he controlled was the way he went to work, and it paid off for him, and so he deserved it. And it'll pay off. He'll go to the league and do well as well.
I thought it was interesting because on the piece about social media, you hear a lot of guys talk about how, hey, I've deleted all social media this year. Preseason, August comes around, we're getting ready for the first game against who knows who. In this case, it would have been Cincinnati, and we hear guys talk about all the time, we're focused. How focused is this team? I'm ready to go.
Right.
This is what I've done. This is what I've done. We didn't hear that from Emmett.
No,
and it makes it easier to cheer for because it's
authentic. He led by his actions, ever since he's been here. I remember talking to him a few times, him being frustrated, kind of play a little bit and then obviously do well, then maybe not play as much and, really trying to, get an understanding of the process. And I was like, man, you just got to work while you wait. And when you get your chance, you got to knock it out of the park. And, he did it, probably even better than anybody could imagine. Obviously, I think circumstances led to it to be a great year for him.
Yeah.
And so, look, now he's on to the next thing, and he's going to take that same process to the, pre-draft and all that stuff, and, he'll do well. And plus, the thing about him, he's a humble kid. He's smart, he's tough, he's very likable. He's a great locker room guy. Those are the guys that go to the NFL, and you have a long career. Because you're accountable and you're trustworthy.
Well, with that, I guess I would ask you more of an X's and O's question. What did Nebraska do differently this year? Because it's the very surface level low hanging fruit is just for us to sit up here and be like, they gave him many more touches, right? He had 251 carries this year, shy of 1,500 rushing yards. Had a really nice number of receptions and receiving yards out of the backfield as well. Was a lot of times a safety blanket, not only for TJ Lateef once he got in, but also for Dylan earlier in the year, because there were sometimes the wide receivers struggled to get separation on the perimeter. So with that, from an actual football standpoint, deeper than just saying, hey, you know what, Dana Holgerson came in and they started to really prioritize getting Emmett the ball just more the times than not.
Yeah.
What was it about this offense this year that allowed Emmett to have, the statistics, but the volume of opportunities?
Sure. I think, well, number one, you stop fighting it, right? You say, okay, we're not going to worry about, quote unquote, the size of Emmett in the Big Ten. And then when you just say, okay, this kid's good. And let's see how we can actually, strategically use him to be, part of the skill position group. And, he became a great check down source for Dylan. And then he was able to extend plays. And then he was able to kind of really slow down the pace if they were ever out of control by making guys miss. And so he was able to keep them at or ahead of the chains when they were really rolling offensively. And so philosophy-wise, I think they just, they probably just more – I think Dana's just more familiar with him.
Yeah.
And that's what he's done. He's had some great, kind of do-it-all players when he was at West Virginia and obviously, Houston. So you kind of expected if he got rolling, he's going to feed him. And, I think it helped out the offense. And obviously, at times, whether, guys got open, they were missed or they were having troubles against, some, defensive schemes. You can't scheme for somebody that can make guys miss.
Yeah.
And that's what he can do. He can make guys miss. He's very, very durable, and he doesn't take a lot of clean shots.
What does this mean for next year? I mean, because now you look at next year, and we talked about it earlier this week, to where in most seasons we're sitting here having these conversations of like, a lot of guys got opportunities, nobody really took it. Hopefully one of them throughout these next few months, into spring ball and then into fall camp, can take it. Maybe they add one through the portal, right? Now this year it's a different but still similar conversation as to Emmett had such a good year. He's off to the NFL. Big Ten running back of the year is now something Nebraska's offense has to replace in another very crucial year for the staff and for a lot of the skill position guys that are on that team. Now you look at guys like Quentin Ives, Mekhi Nelson's on the roster.
Yeah.
I mean, even potentially a guy like Jamarian Parker, depending on the future for him once he gets fully healthy. Like, these are now guys that they've brought in to hopefully – and Isaiah Mosey's the big one I forgot there. Yeah. But, like, now do we see Nebraska go, okay, maybe we need to turn our attention to go find another Emmett from the portal who's an experienced guy?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to – I don't think a lot of All-Americans or all Big Ten running backs are in the portal. And there might be a few, but I think there's some guys, maybe one or two that can really come in and do it by committee. And then if one really takes off, then you just go with that. I don't think you have to look too far. I imagine every agent that has a decent running back is probably calling Nebraska. And I think the bigger question, Nick, is does this change Nebraska's philosophy going next year offensively?
Sure.
Right? Because, I guess it's, people always ask, what's our identity? And you really depends. I think it's probably, multiple based on the game. But do you go to a more spread out type of offense? And that, a lot of it depends on how you do it, on the lines and all that. It'll be interesting to see, what players they try to attack, what players they get, and then what players they keep in the portal, what players choose to stay, because that'll kind of shape maybe your guesstimation early in the process and see what could happen next year.
That's a great point. And once again, 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, Starter Heyman text line open for you guys if you have questions on any of the stuff, any of the events that are happening today. Jay and I live from Liquid Assets Sports Bar over here, 27th and Jamie Lane in South Lincoln. We're here in partnership with the Nebraska Greats Foundation. This whole event is brought to you by our friends at Alpha Wealth Advisors as well. Mike and his team, you've heard from Monty, you've heard from Brett, you've heard from Mike as well throughout various shows on the ticket this week, just kind of talking and previewing what we can expect today. Today, we're going to talk to a lot of them. There's going to be a lot of special guests that walk through the doors. You already mentioned the Heisman winner, Eric Crouch, is in the building as well. But then in addition to that, you have Coach Solich is going to be here later today as well. And it's a lot of these things to where what is the Nebraska Greats Foundation? How can you help? But in addition to that, just making people aware of what they do.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great event. And obviously it's two of our partners, and we're happy to kind of, assist in growing the bandwidth of the Nebraska Greats Foundation. But I think it's obviously, when you think about it, it's a, true foundation where they're really, their focus is to bring awareness, but more importantly, to help any Nebraska, I guess, state, Nebraska school athlete or former athlete in a time of need. And they do it, for the right reasons. They do it strategically, and it's very, very efficient. And so that's why it's really good to partner with them, because what they do is needed, right? And sometimes when you get done, you just never know. It could be something health, it could be mental, or a little bit of both. And so, sometimes you don't know where to turn. I mean, a lot of athletes, and including myself, you're very prideful.
Yeah.
You try to, a lot of times when you're an athlete, you're able to figure it out because you know how to figure it out. Sometimes when you're in this game of life, which is obviously a lot longer than any, sports career you ever have, you need some assistance, and that's what they're able to do.
Jay, I'm going to ask you to turn a little vulnerable for me, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's easy for us to do when we're away from the mic, but maybe harder on the mic.
Right.
What was there any after you were done playing? Like, did you have any issues or struggles adjusting to normal life? Right, because for years it's football.
Right. Yeah. It's a tremendous struggle. I guess mentally and spiritually and obviously physically. Obviously, with me and it's because you go from it's not the identity thing. I mean, because a lot of guys, if you're pretty humble, you just kind of understand. I'm just who I am. I think more importantly, it's the structure. For me, you miss the as we're watching one of the TVs here. You miss kind of like the locker room, and you miss the camaraderie, and you miss the competitiveness. Like football isn't a game that you can go play 5 o'clock on a Friday. Like basketball or sometimes baseball and stuff like that. So that that's it does. It takes sometimes it takes falling on your face. Sometimes it takes bumping your head, and sometimes you got to fail. And a lot of times when you play the sport, I was able to play professionally for a long time, and so you never really failed, even though you retired. So it's you got to deal with that, but. You got great foundations, and in the Nebraska Great Foundation that are able to assist that if you're really, really struggling. And then, more importantly, you have to have a good family and friends around you, and kind of lead and assist you through those times.
Back to Nebraska, because we'll be joined by special guests on the air throughout the rest of the show here. What is a major question that you're curious about that Nebraska can answer in these next? I'll say till the bowl game. Yeah. Obviously, the big one's probably who's going to be the defensive coordinator, right?
Right.
But going a little bit deeper than that, is there a question? Is there a priority that you're curious about learning and discovering from Nebraska football in the next 3 weeks?
I mean, it'd be interesting to see
because the portal won't be open up yet,
or here. Yeah, but can they have visitors yet or not?
Not yet.
Not yet. I think I guess I would be interested to maybe hear. After doing like a self-scouting, self-assessment, what type of things are they're going to be trying to implement, which you can do now, not wholesale changes, but implement right now to really kickstart your 2026 season.
Yeah.
And sure, that coincides with the defensive coordinator. But then more importantly is like, what are we going to do? Are we going to really, really change our identification and leaders? Who are the leaders that are going to be the leaders for the 2026 season? How we're going to approach the bowl game. Is it kind of like, hey, look, we're going to give everybody even carries, and whoever comes out on top got a leg up on being here next year. Defensive philosophy, who really steps up. I think this is a time where you hear about a lot of young guys, throughout the year, periodically, and who's going to be able to, step up moving forward. But the structure, the accountability, and maybe some of the learning lessons that maybe when you're in the fight that you can't assess and change, that you do address and change, moving forward.
I think it's interesting because over these next couple of weeks, maybe not officially enter the portal, but we hear whispers and we can hear things of guys potentially moving on and stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's always important, and we've had conversations about this extensively of like, and this is going to come across as harsh, nobody is irreplaceable.
No,
right?
We're not good enough for that.
Okay, so that's a good point.
Like Jeremiah
number one.
Smith is.
Yeah. Number two, though, is that in this day and age of college football, if your program is based on the shoulders of one or two players, offensive or defensive side of the ball, you're not going to have success anyway.
Right. Yeah. So you can't be surprised these days about what young men do, and obviously young women as well when they get in the portal. Sometimes guys jump in the portal maybe to get the attention of their present team to get maybe a pay raise.
Yeah.
Some guys jump in the portal to see who's really interested and what are the other options out there. So I think it just kind of, you really got to focus in on your program, what you want, the type of players you want, and the identity and the culture of the team. The culture's got to be led by the blueprint of the coach and really, really dive into the veins of the players. And you try to retain as many guys because, as we've seen, the teams that consistently have the same guys on the roster will consistently start to win, and then you'll consistently be able to reload instead of rebuild.
And part of that conversation is something that Matt Rule has been preaching nonstop over the last 3 or 4 games and thus the last 6 weeks of the season, essentially. Right. And it's been really easy because it's not him just saying stuff. It's actually the showcase of Emmett Johnson has helped probably Nebraska's staff be able to pitch their what their belief is to younger guys. And what I mean by that is Matt Rule's gotten up on the podium almost weekly and basically said, look, this is a proven experience of if you stick around and you allow your coach, in this case, whether it's EJ Barthel or position coach coordinator, to develop you, then there's a very good chance that you have success.
Right.
And it's one thing for guys to just hear that over and over and over and try to get it ingrained in their mind. But at the end of the day, also having Emmett Johnson have that type of year, hopefully, is beneficial for Nebraska staff and the message that they're sharing.
It's a great selling point when you talk about we develop guys, we stick with them and we take care of them when they do well, which they did, in all phases with Emmett, and they can go to look. Emmett was here. This was his star ranking. This is where he was as a freshman. This is how he built up his body, and you can go from there. And then when you're out there talking to, and it doesn't necessarily have to be running backs. It could be everybody, or every position. You can, really lean on that and put your hat on that. And so you got to do it on, consistent basis. And, hopefully, they're able to encourage guys to stick around, but more importantly, get guys in here, with the right, intangibles. And the number one that you need, I think, is leadership. Guys that are willing to lead guys. Not for selfish reasons, more for selfless reasons. And, I think they got that now. They need it a little bit more, and they need guys to come in and really leave their benchmark, when they're in a position room. You know what I'm saying? So if you bring in a linebacker, he's showing guys how to work. He's showing guys how to play, produce. And then that's the identity, or that's what you want as the benchmark, for, in this case, a linebacker.
It's really fascinating. You mentioned the stars piece of it, and I was just going down the memory lane of where Emmett was here before we get to break. And I forgot how late Nebraska started recruiting him because they had the coaching change and everything there. But he visited Nebraska on December 10th, which was later in the process, later in the cycle, obviously. But these were his only other offers. He only had 9 offers total, Emmett Johnson. Nebraska, Central Michigan, Eastern Michigan, Montana State, North Dakota, Northern Iowa, South Dakota State, and Western Kentucky.
Yeah.
Not your super high-profile programs were in on Emmett Johnson. He was rated, according to 24/7 Sports, as the 85th best running back in the country.
Yeah.
So we do have to give some sort of credit where credit's due also to Ron Brown. And also Coach Barthel and those guys, because they were able to identify this guy. We talk about it all the time. Identifying, or on the other side, misidentifying talent can be either the boost that you need to keep your job, or it can be the thing that ends it.
Yeah, I mean, Ron Brown, he's had a lot of good luck up there in Minnesota. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, is that right? There were some other guys from there.
No, I mean, I think the thing that helped Emmett, he was a really good basketball player, really good athlete.
Yeah.
And Ron Brown, when he was obviously out there, obviously coaching and recruiting, he knew, okay, this guy's got some potential. Mm-hmm. And, Emmett went to a little bit smaller school up there in the Minneapolis area, but I think it worked out for him. And all you need is somebody to take a chance on you. And so he came in, obviously appreciated, the opportunity, but more importantly, he made a lot of people look good by coming in here and outperforming initial expectations.
Best running back in Nebraska since Amir? Best single season?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, since Amir, definitely him.
Because there were starts to Dedrick Mills here that were really good.
Divine Exigbo had a year. He got on a heater there. So, for sure. Start to finish, that's definitely he's right there at or second to Amir. So, good on him. And with that being said, we're going to take a quick break, come back. Old School live out here at Liquid Assets, 27th and Jamie Lane, Nebraska Greats Foundation event. Jay Foreman, Nick Zaynert. Quick break. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Hey guys, it's Nick. Join Aaron Davis and I next Monday from 9 to 11 a.m. as we broadcast The Drive live from the Lincoln Children's Museum. The museum is getting ready to unveil a brand new exhibit for children 8 to 12 years old on Saturday, December 13th, but we give you a sneak peek on Monday from 9 to 11 a.m. as we broadcast The Drive live from the Lincoln Children's Museum in downtown Lincoln.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Leaves are falling and temperatures are cooling down, but don't put your golf clubs away. Double Eagle Golf makes golf leagues and events possible year-round. Winter leagues begin on December 1st and are open for registration. Check out their deals on monthly memberships and schedule your Husker Watch parties, birthday or bachelor parties, corporate or team outings, or just a good old Saturday with the boys. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Book a tee time today or learn more at doubleeagle.golf.
Rick Heyman here from Starter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Starter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at starterheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
This holiday season, bring home a tradition that tastes like celebration. Beatrice Bakery's world-famous fruitcake, baked in the heart of Nebraska with rich, golden batter, real cherries, pineapple, crunchy nuts, and a splash of old-fashioned goodness. It's moist, flavorful, and crafted the same way for generations. It's the fruitcake that turns skeptics into believers. Find Beatrice Bakery fruitcake online at grandmasbakeshop.com or at your favorite retailer, and make your holidays deliciously unforgettable with the help of Beatrice Bakery's world-famous fruitcake.
This is your year to win way more than bragging rights. At Warhorse Casino, your love of the game could earn you serious cash. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with cash prizes all season long, like up to $1,000 weekly, with your chance at $1 million, all while earning tier points and comp points every time you place a sports bet. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at PAHLincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Feeling under the weather? Got a minor injury that can't wait? Skip the ER visit and high cost. Choose CHI Health Clinic Priority Care for everything from sniffles and sinus infections to stitches and sprains. Priority Care handles it all at primary care rates, much less than a typical urgent care visit. Priority Care is open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Find relief without breaking the bank. Learn more at chihealth.com/prioritycare.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back. Jay Foreman, Nick Sainert, old school out here live at Liquid Assets, 27th and Jamie Lane. Obviously, we're brought to you by the Mercado, but we have a great event out here, Nebraska Great Foundation. Now we have the man out here. You got to move over here towards me, Monty. I know you're a tight end extraordinaire.
They told me to stay away from linebackers. They're scary.
I have long reach. This is where I used to jam you guys up. We got Monty. Are you lead operations officer, right? Is that what,
I've never been called elite in my entire life. Executive director.
I do
of
some
Nebraska operations. I just do what they tell me to do.
A little bit of everything.
I do.
Welcome.
It's like my life. I know just a little bit about a lot of things, Chief.
That's the best way. That keeps you multiple. And then what you do for Nebraska Great Foundation, you have to. So first, obviously, before we get into who you help, talk about how you became executive director and why, more importantly, of the Nebraska Great Foundation.
That's a great question. So I was on the board of the Nebraska Great Foundation for about 6 years.
Right.
The reason why is, first of all, I believed in the mission. I got involved because a former teammate of mine, Kenny Clark.
Right. Oh, yeah.
He was one of the first guys to help.
You just can't help yourself.
Oh, he's
He was a dude.
Kenny was my guy.
Minnesota is the gold mine.
These young guys don't know about that stuff from Kenny Clark. But anyway, I heard about the Grace Foundation because they helped him a little bit.
Right.
I was also Willie Miller's 8th grade English teacher, and Willie was one of our recipients.
Yeah.
So
Did great things.
believed in the mission, and then the board of directors, guys like Eric Crouch and Boyd Epley and Bruce Rasmussen and people like that, they just draw again. I'm one of those guys that like to be around great people.
Right.
I learn a lot from them. And so I was on the board for a long time. We lost our executive director last year and kind of went through a mini search. And the board asked if I would kind of take over some of those operational responsibilities. Right. And I said, well, I kind of got a real job.
Right.
But again, I believe in the mission. I believe in what we do. And so I took over some of those responsibilities and kind of restructured a lot of what we do. Much of it is thanks to guys like you, because we want to get the word out. We want to brand, we want to market, want to raise money, and we want to give it away.
Right. Yeah, I mean and you guys do it because I think you do it the right way. I heard you guys on I think the drive, where obviously somebody, a recipient needs some help, you go and take care of the bills, take all that guesswork out of it. I really like it because it keeps to your mission. You want to streamline the funds to wherever it needs to go.
Mm-hmm.
But more importantly, even for myself, even when I was in the NFL, when I was having a couple major surgeries, you don't know how it works. Nobody's familiar with the process. You guys obviously help people with that and getting to it. And also I want to tell people they do really good work. Larry Florence was a really good friend of mine, and obviously he was a great player, but even better person.
Mm-hmm.
The way you guys stepped up and stepped in with him, even kind of possibly knowing what the possible outcome is.
Yep.
That takes a lot of humility though, because sometimes people only want to help out the ones that are a little bit easier. That one was a hard to see, but then obviously to go through and with the process.
One of the things we found out is, and one of the great things is, we've given away, we've paid for airline tickets, gas money for treatments. We've bought hospital beds. We've done all those sorts of things. And then sometimes a guy like Larry, a guy like Budge Porter, some of these people that need long-term help. One of our dearest recipients, Tesla Davis, had ALS. We've had 3 different recipients with ALS. That's an ugly, horrible disease that costs a lot of money and their families just don't know what to do.
Right.
And Larry was kind of in that situation where we knew it was terminal, but our main goal was to do everything we could to make the last however many years of his life, and he was a warrior, just like when he played.
Oh, yeah.
And we wanted to make his last few years better. And he unfortunately passed away this past summer, and it's heartbreaking, but that's life.
Right.
That is what it's about. So again, we have a vetting process. We make sure from the medical standpoint that they need help medically.
Sure.
But the other thing we do is we also do a great job with Sandy and Ashley, our people that handle our recipients and our marketing and that paperwork, where we do some vetting. And like you said, we go and we negotiate some of those. The recipients never get a check from us.
Right.
We go to those people that they owe, and we take care of that for them.
Right,
So
yeah.
anyway, I'm really proud of that whole process.
I think that you said something just a moment ago that kind of piqued my interest in the fact of we think about helping people out in terms of treatment or actually the actual action or piece of it. In reality, it's the airline tickets. It's the gas money that you mentioned. We wouldn't even cross your mind as somebody that knows the story. But then also, if you're in it, you're thinking, okay, yeah, I need X amount because this is what the treatment costs.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't even think about a lot of times you might have to go out of state to do this stuff.
And insurance doesn't cover that stuff.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, they might take care of they might take care of the majority of a surgery. Yeah, one.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole different issue as far as what they do and what they don't take care of. But you're exactly right. And what we do with our board, and a great board, is we vet a recipient, and then we go to our board and we can vote on it that day. We send out emails, vote on it that day, and immediately we can get money in the hands of the people that need it. And I mentioned already, on one of your shows earlier this week, and I want to thank the Ticket and Liquid Assets for this. But we've got a recipient, Bridget McPhillips, who is Bridget Hansen, Lincoln Pius girl. A lot of people out in your listening audience know all about the Lincoln Pius. And listen,
Go Bolts.
Go Bolts, right, Nick? And but her dad, Jim Hansen, of course, is a Pius legend, football coach, and of course works for Sandhills now. Yeah. But she's one of our recipients. She played soccer up at Wayne State, and she has a fairly rare form of cancer. And she's those are the kind of people we really love helping. And we need $1,000 to pay for some of her travel to her next treatment. And you know what? Today we're going to get it. We got a couple donations here just recently. Diode Technologies gave me a call and said, hey, they started in Diller, Nebraska.
Yeah.
You ever been to Diller, Odell? And they do a lot of things for home security systems. They do a lot of things for your smart home. Incredible business.
Yeah. Ron's incredible.
Oh, Ron and that whole Sandman family.
Yeah.
I've known them for a long time.
Absolutely.
They're Beatrice people. There's a few Beatrice people in the house. We got to go Orangeman. But they gave us a donation that is going to go directly to Bridget's travel expenses, and that's a really cool deal.
Yeah, that's great, man. I mean, obviously, when you have events like this and people can kind of see you active, I know where you don't reside in Lincoln, but you're in Lincoln a lot. What's next for Nebraska Grace Foundation? First of all, I guess talk about all the things you've done to raise awareness. I know you've done a new website. You streamlined the process. Obviously, you have plenty of board meetings and stuff like that. But what's the next step? Because I think, the way you guys have grown, at least from my eyes looking from the outside in, it's on the cusp of really, really expanding. So what is the things that you guys see in the future?
Well, I can tell you're a businessman because you get this stuff. So first of all, it's awareness, right? What do we do and how do we do it? And you have to have a website. You have to have social media. You have to have those things to make people aware of it. You look at your background. All you have to do is go on, click the QR code, and you find out a little bit what we do and how, right behind you.
Right behind you.
and how you can support what we do. But what's next is growth and expansion, and really that comes to a couple different things. Let me give you an example. We take care of medical needs for former athletes, not just, remember, it's not just Husker athletes,
right.
From all the four-year colleges. And you were right earlier, 16 of them. Yeah, that a boy.
Yeah.
See,
look at you.
That Minnesota's education's paying off.
That's right.
Hey.
Absolutely. But
look over everybody's shoulder.
sit next to smart kids.
Yeah.
But that we take care of those medical needs, but we also have dipped our toe in a couple other things. We have partnered now with the University of Omaha, and we have helped 12 students finish their degrees. Eligible athletes that They lost their eligibility. They didn't finish their degrees. We got a donor that really stepped up and donated money to that particular thing. And there's 12 of them that we have helped. We've partnered with University of Omaha to help them do that.
Wow.
And then the other thing that's brand new to us as far as growth and expansion is we've dipped our toe into the drug and alcohol rehab world, where one of our board members is Mark Jones, a former Creighton athlete and does a lot of work with Creighton. He belongs to the North Point community, North Point Drug and Alcohol Rehab. And there's 4 different athletes that we have helped. We're a referral base. We let North Point do their thing. And then what insurance doesn't take care of, we step in. And there are some very promising. Some of those are, we haven't got the waivers yet to talk about the people,
Right.
but
sure.
There's 4 of those people, and 2 of them very, very well.
Right, yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's one of those things where we're proud of that, and we aren't doing it for recognition. We're doing it to make people better and help people.
Yeah, I think it's really good because, it's kind of, everybody thinks like when you have to go to rehab, they think of the I guess the sexy, drug. Whereas like the alcohol could be something that you might not know and it kind of comes up, up on you. So for you guys to be able to go outside of the box and find somebody that can help them, I think is really, really good. And obviously you mentioned Willie Miller. I mean, obviously he was a teammate of mine. He's one of the best that I love Willie. He was younger, but he was one of my favorite teammates. And obviously the turnaround. I wanted to ask you, when you see somebody, let's just talk about Willie, right? And we don't have to get into the whole details. But when you just see somebody make progress, even the few times that maybe Larry Florence had a little uptick, how does that make you feel? Then obviously your board of directors as well.
Anybody listening knows has people that have gone through cancer treatments, heart ailments, diabetes, all those sorts of things, and they see if it's a road that kind of goes up and down, and you have to take those small wins. There's some of our recipients where they're big wins. I mean, we've got them, and when someone comes up to you and says, "Hey, you saved my life by taking care of this. You saved my family from all this heartache, all this financial trauma that we're going through," that's a win. Now, we can't control that end result. We can't control the Larry Florence or the Tesla Davis and some of those that we've lost along the way, but we can make things just a little bit better as that goes on. So that's important to us. That's really part of our mission. That's something that we feel strongly about, and we really, really want to get people to understand that all these things that we have done for people, it does cost money, right?
Yeah.
And there's operations involved, and there's payments. And one of the things we're trying to do is we're trying to get more recipients, and then give more money away. That's what we do.
Monty, before we get you out of here, once again, we're joined by Monty, Nebraska Greats Foundation, Executive Director, and as Jay always says, extraordinaire. Here's a question for you before we let you go. A lot of people, obviously today, it's donations, but awareness, right?
Correct.
They can go online at NebraskaGreatsFoundation.org to learn more. There's a massive donate button. A lot of people willing to donate. They want to know maybe where is the money going? Where can they decide where the money's going? Kind of talk about that. Can they have conversations with you, your team? Kind of walk us through the donation process.
Well, the donation process is pretty simple, and we are very flexible because we have so many different areas where that money can go.
Sure.
If you want to designate that to a recipient, absolutely we will. We're a fairly small organization, and Sandy, our recipient director, is daily on the phone with those families and those recipients. And so we can absolutely do that. If you want to designate it to a certain college, if say, this is for an athlete for Wayne State, Nebraska Wesleyan, we can also do that. So I guess a really answer to that is we are an open book. We have open minds to that sort of thing. We're a growing organization who really wants to get better at what we do.
Monty, we do have a great event today. Is there any other events on the horizon?
Yeah, we are going to have some events. We usually have about 2 or 3 different ones throughout the year. Oh, by the way, we take some celebrities and some donors golfing once in a while up to Lost Rail. I don't know if you know anybody that'd be interested in doing any of that.
Yeah, I know a couple.
Yeah,
I know one. Really, I know one. I don't know if I can fit this celebrity, but I know I could tag along a little bit.
Well, listen. Our host here, Mike Ostick. We even let him come to Lost Rail. One time.
Everybody
we're
good.
Then. Everybody's
if you brought Mike out to Lost Rail, then everybody can go. Come one, come all. Now they got to donate to go, but at least you can be able to go out there and play, right?
You know that old movie Caddyshack. We're about the same. We go. Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah.
It wasn't exactly like Rodney Dangerfield and Caddyshack on the golf course at Lost Rail, but Mike's always a treat, and we love having him there. We love having his support. We love Alpha Wealth. We love Liquid Assets, and that's pretty cool. But anyway, we have golf events throughout the time. We have some special events where we have some celebrities that come in and we invite special donors where we have experiences. And we love that sort of thing. So appreciate you asking.
Yeah, man, that's awesome, man. We got Monty, Executive Director, Nebraska. Great foundation. Nick Sander, Jay Foreman, Old School, out here at Liquid Assets, 27th and Jamie Lane. We're going to take a quick break, come back. Short segment in the top of the 5 o'clock hour. We'll have another board member from Nebraska Greats Foundation. Old School, we'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Carper for O Street Carpet. For Christmas, we're doing everything possible to help you spruce up your home without making a dent in your holiday budget. If you need new wood flooring, new carpet, ceramic tile, vinyl, area rugs, or custom blinds, you want to shop at O Street Carpet. We offer 12 months same-as-cash financing, Lincoln's best selection in stock, free in-home measuring, and we'll install it right away. 1732 O Street. We want to make you a customer for life.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
This holiday season, bring home a tradition that tastes like celebration. Beatrice Bakery's world-famous fruitcake, baked in the heart of Nebraska with rich, golden batter, real cherries, pineapple, crunchy nuts, and a splash of old-fashioned goodness. It's moist, flavorful, and crafted the same way for generations. It's the fruitcake that turns skeptics into believers. Find Beatrice Bakery fruitcake online at grandmasbakeshop.com or at your favorite retailer, and make your holidays deliciously unforgettable with the help of Beatrice Bakery's world-famous fruitcake.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Are you ready to make a difference this holiday season? Schwezo Construction and TMCO are hosting a diaper drive December 5th through the 19th. They're collecting diapers, pull-ups, and wipes to benefit TMCO Prep Academy, the Nebraska Diaper Bank, and Forward. Drop off your donations at Schwezo Construction, 93.7 The Ticket, Pine Lake Self-Storage, or White Elm Brewery. Together, we care for our community. For more information, please visit Schwezo Construction's website or Facebook page today.
Leaves are falling and temperatures are cooling down, but don't put your golf clubs away. Double Eagle Golf makes golf leagues and events possible year-round. Winter leagues begin on December 1st and are open for registration. Check out their deals on monthly memberships and schedule your Husker Watch parties, birthday or bachelor parties, corporate or team outings, or just a good old Saturday with the boys. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Book a tee time today or learn more at doubleeagle.golf.
And now, introducing the starting lineup of your Nebraska Huskers, starring Allo Fiber. At number 1, Allo Internet. At number 2, no satellite dish required. DirecTV through Allo. And at number 3, Allo Mobile. Allo Fiber, the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of Husker Nation. Level up your game and go to allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
This is your year to win way more than bragging rights. At Warhorse Casino, your love of the game could earn you serious cash. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with cash prizes all season long, like up to $1,000 weekly, with your chance at $1 million, all while earning tier points and comp points every time you place a sports bet. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Make plans to be at the Icebox on Saturday, December 13th for Teddy Bear Toss Night as the Stars host the Dubuque Fighting Saints. Bring a teddy bear or stuffed animal from home or purchase one at the game. When the Stars score their first goal of the game, it's time to throw the bears and stuffed animals onto the ice, with all being donated to the Community Action Partnership of Lancaster and Saunders counties to help local children in need during the holidays. That's the Teddy Bear Toss on Saturday, December 13th with the Lincoln Stars.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What about the bottom of the 3 o'clock hour? Jay Foreman got a special guest, my man T. Farley, my teammate, my linebacker mate, coming in with a bow on this first hour. We're out here at Liquid Assets. T. Farley.
A lot of things going on today, man.
Man, it's packed.
Matt Campbell.
Matt Campbell. Listen, if you ever can dice up, you got to get overpaid when you're the 15th choice. For Penn State, you got to pay me for my emotional damage that you didn't call me until the 54th day to be the head coach. But Penn State has finally filled their coaching vacancy after the AD's audio got leaked. Did you hear that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he was telling everybody that Oregon wasn't good, Michigan was cheaters, so forth and so on, and they can't lose games to Northwestern and so forth. And I guess it was a players-only meeting. Farley, I want to ask you real quick, and obviously get your opinion. Obviously, Iowa game, and we haven't been able to talk, much about the defense. What do you want to see scheme-wise from maybe the new D coordinator whenever he is named?
I just want to see old-fashioned Nebraska football. That means guys running to the ball, guys making great hits, guys just being physical. I think that took a lot out of us this year, not being a physical defense. You can say what you want to say about the passing game, but when you talk about the Big Ten, it's all about the running part of it. And I think Nebraska has to learn to be physical. I think we've shown that, and not being physical gets you bullied in the Big Ten. And I think the next coach, defensive coordinator, needs to bring his own guys with him. I don't think there's nothing wrong with Matt Rule guys, but I got to have some guys that knows my technique, that preaches my technique and preaches my philosophy of football when you want to talk about the defensive side.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, it's sometimes you're not able to bring them all, but I'm sure they're able to bring a couple of them. I think the biggest thing is that, the physicality. I think, wanting and doing are two different things, and sometimes they can get mixed up and it can sound the same. So if you want to be physical, that's what you want to do. Doing is being physical. You know what I'm saying? That's an action base. The want is a thought. Doing is an action. So more action is probably, on the tab. So
now, Jay, I want to jump back to that Matt Campbell discussion right quick because, I was kind of upset earlier about the situation because, Penn State needed a coach. So we know that part. But how do you explain this with signing day 2, 48 hours ago?
Yeah.
You had kids sign scholarships. Where do those kids fit in now?
I mean,
that's kind of I don't know how you say it.
Conundrum.
A situation that nobody wants to be in. Now you have to worry about kids like Amarion Jackson. You got to worry about the other kids that go there and see if Nebraska has a chance to go back and talk to them. And I said earlier that if I was a kid, I'm nobody's second fiddle. So, whoever they can go to, if they want to stay, that's on them. But at the same time, I kind of felt kind of strange about that whole situation when we talked about it.
Yeah, Matt Campbell, on the sneak has been at Iowa State for like 10 years. And so, he kind of obviously did it, and obviously they, they're struggling, as far as to keep up facility-wise and all that. So you understand the move for him. Now, The only thing, it falls on Penn State's, feet because they've taken so long to obviously fill the vacancy, number one. You had the signing day 2 days ago. So what happens with the players on the roster and the guys that you signed in this class? And then also what happens with, Iowa State's commits. So you really, by the lack of, I guess, assertiveness to be able to sign a coach or get a coach that you want, or being told no, or being impulsive by firing James Franklin early in the season, you really not only affected directly Penn State, and they're starting over now, and that probably is the pitch to Matt Campbell. We'll help you start over. Your turnaround will be faster because we have more resources and facilities. But he's not familiar with the East Coast. It's different. You got to have footprint there, and there's no footprint there. But more importantly, look what Iowa State. They just had a really good class. And now everybody that just had the highlight of signing on Wednesday now is probably on, uneven footing. Are they going to stay? Who's going to call them now? And then where it affects the rosters that they might go. So it's a domino effect that is part of college football now. And it's obviously a lot of turnover, and now it's caused turmoil in more than one university moving forward.
Do you keep Terry Smith on to help you with that recruiting part in Philly?
Yeah.
Because when you talk about Pennsylvania and their great football tradition,
yeah.
Do you keep a guy? Do the AD say, hey, you're hired, but Terry Smith stays on board?
I would if I was the AD, I'd strongly advise trying to keep Terry Smith as a maybe associate head coach. He's a Penn State guy. He's shown that he's going to do what's right for the University of Penn State. He played at Penn State or was, been there for a while. And so with that being said, that would be the smartest move Matt Campbell could do to really fast track his success. And obviously it's his choice. I'm not really sure how much bargaining power the AD has now that it took him almost like 2 months to hire a coach. I mean, I think if you're hiring me at this point, I'm going to do what I want to do, but I think it would be a good move by Matt Campbell to keep him on because he's done a great job. He got him to a bowl game. You're able to go there and watch the team for, 15 practices or so before you play or before Penn State plays. So you want to probably, because he's going to have interest, you want to maybe keep him around at least for the next year or two to make that transition as smooth as possible.
All right, that sounds good to me.
So we're up against the clock. That's my man T. Forley, another black shirt, another Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
We meant it. Great honor, obviously, to play with.
How many Hall of Famers we got out of that 95 defense? Whew.
Yeah, a lot, a majority of all of them.
Tyrone, Mike, Mike Minner.
Mike Minner, Tyrone, myself, you, Jason Peter, Grant. I'm sure Tomich is in there.
Yeah, he's in there. It's like 8 guys.
Yeah, eight, 9 guys. Yeah. Consistency, right? That's what it was, a magical run. So we're up against the clock. Old school, Jay Foreman, T. Farley out here, Liquid Assets. Quick break. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rick Heyman here from Starter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Starter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at starterheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
This is your year to win way more than bragging rights. At Warhorse Casino, your love of the game could earn you serious cash. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with cash prizes all season long, like up to $1,000 weekly, with your chance at $1 million, all while earning tier points and comp points every time you place a sports bet. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
This holiday season, bring home a tradition that tastes like celebration. Beatrice Bakery's world-famous fruitcake, baked in the heart of Nebraska with rich, golden batter, real cherries, pineapple, crunchy nuts, and a splash of old-fashioned goodness. It's moist, flavorful, and crafted the same way for generations. It's the fruitcake that turns skeptics into believers. Find Beatrice Bakery Fruitcake online at grandmasbakeshop.com or at your favorite retailer, and make your holidays deliciously unforgettable with the help of Beatrice Bakery's world-famous fruitcake.
Hi, I'm Steve Carper for O Street Carpet. For Christmas, we're doing everything possible to help you spruce up your home without making a dent in your holiday budget. If you need new wood flooring, new carpet, ceramic tile, vinyl, area rugs, or custom blinds, you want to shop at O Street Carpet. We offer 12-month same-as-cash financing, Lincoln's best selection in stock, free in-home measuring, and we'll install it right away. 1732 O Street. We want to make you a customer for life.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln area. We are going to keep this train rolling in a big way with new half-ton and 4x4 pickup trucks starting at $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You heard that right, $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You pick which one works better for you. Please stop on in the dealership and meet the team or check us out at coppellcars.com. Stock number C280930, all deals with approved credit.
Comfort food, but make it vegan. At Rutabagas, they're serving all your crave-worthy classics. Mac and cheese, loaded nachos, Philly cheesesteaks, all 100% plant-powered and 100% delicious. Catch them at their cozy spot at 70th and Vine, or find their food truck rolling through the streets of Lincoln. So whether you're vegan, veg curious, or just hungry for comfort food with a twist, Rutabagas has a plate waiting for you. Find them on Instagram for their food truck location and specials. Rutabagas, where comfort meets compassion. MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agriculture storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post-frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mostly sunny skies with a light breeze. The afternoon high around 39. Tonight, partly cloudy skies and light winds, the low around 19. And tomorrow, a chance of rain and snow. Otherwise, mainly cloudy skies and breezy with a high near 37. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and ticketfm.com.
Attention parents of 8 to 12-year-olds. The Lincoln Children's Museum is opening a new exhibit designed specifically with them in mind. Mark your calendars for the grand opening on Saturday, December 13th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. On site, meet Love Nebraska volleyball players, including Lincoln's own Jordan Larson. Plus, the first 100 kids will receive a mini volleyball. Please note, fans must have a child with them to enter the museum. While you're there, be sure to check out the new Rock Wall, Book Nook, and Maker Studio. This event is free for members or included with regular daily admission. Learn more at lincolnchildrensmuseum.org.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, we're back. Jay Foreman, T. Farley, 4 o'clock hour out here live at Liquid Assets, 27th and Jamie Lane. Old School. We are brought to you by the Mercado. Obviously, it's almost a grilling weekend.
Oh, yeah.
We know in Columbus, Georgia, you don't grill.
You know, right now in Minnesota, you can't.
No,
grill.
we
It's
can't.
negative.
No.
It's negative
You can ice fish up there, but
Yeah.
you definitely can't grill. T. Farley, moving forward, obviously we were able to touch on a little bit of Penn State and them finally getting a new coach, and obviously with Nebraska, moving towards wherever bowl game that they are moving, going to play in. I wanted to ask you, what do you want to see overall from the team, in the bowl game versus what you saw for 12 games during the season?
Well, it looks like right now we're going to see some younger guys, especially at running back. So, and we haven't determined the quarterback situation yet. Don't know if Latif is 100%.
Will be. He should be in 3 weeks.
I mean, he should be.
He's young.
But
He heal up quick.
I don't want to see him try to overdo it. I think we shouldn't have to force him to be the man for this bowl game. I think we need other guys to step up. I think Mosley, some of the Quinn Knives and the Williams kid, they need to step up in a big way. I know next year we'll have Jamarion Parker.
Yeah.
We don't know what he looks like. So, I'm thinking more of just, guys go out there and have fun, but pay attention to football-wise and try to go out there and win. I know it's going to be hard for you, but go out there and be competitive and learn how to be physical starting with the bowl game.
Yeah, I think it's imperative for, whoever, decide, continues to, play, and obviously, hopefully everybody opts in for the bowl game. It's still football. You got to go out there, and it's 2026 season starting right now, even though it'll be at the end of 2025. So if I'm a young player and I've been waiting to play, you got 15 practices, 4 weeks, 3 weeks to get ready to go out there and, make a name for yourself. And if you don't think it can happen, just look where Emmett was at this time last year to where he is this year. And, that could be the benchmark of, working while you wait, but then also more importantly, take advantage of the opportunity that you're given. And if everybody takes on that type of mentality, that we're going to showcase what we're going to possibly be, in 2026. And it's not necessarily about, how bad you beat the team or whatever. It's more or less, are we going to be more disciplined? Are we going to be more tough? Are we going to be more physical? We're going to be more accountable to each other. You'll see that, whenever the game is that they play. It'll be drastically different you'll be able to see through quarter 1 through quarter 4 versus seeing glimpses of it and then kind of lose your wherewithal and kind of maybe fight an uphill battle, towards the end of the game. And so that's where I want to see them. I don't think you need wholesale changes or anything like that, but I think the guy needs the thing that they need is wholesale, maybe mentality change, and that's what's good.
Yeah.
So
I feel you on that part. Just like I say, man, when we talk about it's a lot of things we need to fix here, but at the same time, they need to go out there and have fun and just finish the year out with a bang when we talk about football-wise, because you're still going to have a long off season. You're still going to have an uphill battle next year, especially with the schedule you got.
Yeah.
And let's just see what the guys, whatever we're working with now, let's work with that and worry about next year when the time comes.
Yeah. We got my man, locker mate. My man, Eric Krause.
Locker mates.
Yeah, not locker mate.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
We're close, right
Close.
here at Locker. Heisman winner. You were part of the Nebraska Great Foundation. Before we get into that, Eric, obviously Monty did a really good job. I want people to understand from your perspective what it's like for a young player to come in on a veteran team, because I think people think you just get star rankings and then you just go right out there and play. And it's just an extension of high school. So for people, like, hear from your perspective, because I was an older player when you came in. Obviously, I knew you were going to be great. But talk about what the mentality was that you had to adapt to or adopt to be able to be successful early in your career.
Well, that's a great question, Jay. I think really it's just a matter of respect for those, juniors, sophomores, juniors, seniors that are on the team. And, you just look at what has been done prior. I mean, I came in, there had been, that run in 93, 94, 95, 96, even though that was the year that was a little bit short.
Right.
But, I saw that ride coming in, like the expectation level was high.
Right.
So, there was a lot of respect there coming in going, this on a daily basis. We need to get the right mindset. And you watch the older guys. You watch. Right. You're quiet. You sit back, but you watch and you see how those leaders operate. And I think obviously there are many teams out there that they don't ever get to see that at that level. So that set the stage, because you got to be able to see it,
Right.
to believe it, and then you got to be able to then go do it.
Yeah, Eric, I mean, obviously, last year we had Dylan Raiola, true freshman, starting, and obviously, started up until, unfortunately, got hurt this year. Then you had TJ Lateef step in. What are some of the things that you look for in a quarterback? Number one, to play. And I don't care if you ran the option or, the spread. You got to have intangibles. What are some of the intangibles that you look for or would expect from a young quarterback to be successful?
Mental toughness has got to be up there. You need to be able to just have a grit about you that, I mean, obviously when you're younger, you're coming into a game, Big Ten, you're going to get hit.
Yeah.
So you got to be physically tough.
Right.
You got to be able to challenge yourself and the players around you. So you can't be shy. It takes some time. So that's why sometimes it's tough for, coming in as a freshman to do those types of things.
Right.
So I was fortunate. I got put in early.
Right.
I got put in. I played in 11 games. I started 8 my freshman year, or my redshirt freshman year. So I got thrown in, and I learned so much so fast. I didn't even know it. It was week to week to week to week. You don't even know what you're learning. It's happening so fast. And so really just to be able to process, study.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I spent so much time watching film. I mean, I just spent so much time learning about our team, and then preparing for the game, watching other teams and other players, and we had great coaches, we got us ready and prepared. So, you just believe in the whole system.
Yeah, another thing I wanted to ask you is what's your thoughts, I guess, from an offensive perspective, maybe on some of the things you want to see from the defense moving forward? Because I feel like to be a good offensive player, you got to know what a good defense is or what they should be. So what do you want to see moving forward with Nebraska's defense?
Yeah, I think less big plays.
Yeah.
Because a lot of that to me just means you're out of position. Anytime we had a big play on offense, it was because they were out of position. You made somebody miss, or they were in the wrong place, and you took advantage of an opportunity. And so the great teams that we played, the Oklahomas, the Texas, the Miamis, it was hard to get a big play.
Right.
Like you were grinding to get a big play. I remember playing Oklahoma my senior year here, and I mean, it was like fighting like a dog to get 2 yards on a run.
Right.
And so I think from a perspective on the offense, like you asked that question, mitigate the big plays,
right,
and almost like that bend but don't break mentality that you hear.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough because you got to control the line of scrimmage, but you got to make sure defensively that you have superior communication, and they all kind of go together. And you can have the pecking order. And obviously, physicality and stuff is obviously number one. But if you can't communicate and you have great players, you're just a bunch of guys out there playing one-on-one basketball as an analogy. Now let's flip over to the event today. You're involved. You got a lot of businesses going on. Every time I see you ripping and running, and a few times I get to see you, during the year. Talk about how you were able to take time out of your busy schedule and get involved with the Nebraska Great Foundation.
Well, I'm a big believer in it. You got to give back. I don't get the same feeling. Now I love what I do for my job, but I get a better return on my investment when I give back. And what we've done with the Nebraska Greats Foundation as a team and a board, and all the people that are involved with the Nebraska Greats has been amazing. We're still out there, doing our thing to try to promote that we're here and we're here to help the Nebraska, athletes, women, men, all the colleges in Nebraska. So this isn't just a Nebraska University thing or a Creighton University thing. This is all the four-year colleges with sports. So I'm just honored to be part of a board, a great board, people that care.
Right.
There's a big difference about being around people that really care about human beings and their welfare.
Right.
And not everybody has the same situation, the same luck in life, and we feel really grateful to be able to help those. And a couple $1 million out there on 69 people.
Yeah.
And not just the money and not just the numbers, but the real help.
Yeah.
The real everyday life that, like, a $2,000 grant changes somebody's life.
Right.
it's been amazing to see the effects of what Jerry Murtaugh started so long ago because of Andre Franklin and his situation. And I just when Jerry asked me to join this board, it was like, I'm in. What do you mean? Like, I can't say no to this. I don't even want to say no. I want to help. So it's obviously got the challenges of getting the word out there. We appreciate what you guys are doing, asking these questions and getting us on the air, because I mean this is big. It's big to be able to spread the word about the Nebraska greats, and we just I see some schools on our list that haven't helped any athletes. You can't tell me there's not an athlete at some of these schools that needs help.
Yeah.
So we got work to do.
Yeah. And it's obviously ever growing. We were talking about Monty and how fast it's grown, and obviously you said you got some events, coming up. And one thing I can say, obviously, you're a very high profile person, obviously, for the right reasons. Sometimes as former athletes, you're apprehensive because people want to use your name and take advantage of it, versus where I think Nebraska Greats Foundation obviously uses your name, but then obviously does it for the right reasons. So that's why I think it's a really good organization.
Well, I'm not high profile, Jay.
Yeah.
I'm not high profile.
Hey, brother.
I don't know what you're talking about right here.
Every time I look over there at the Heisman, I see you in New York. You got the Heisman. You high profile whether you like it or not. You might be the most humble Heisman winner, but you high profile whether you like it or not. Eric Kraut's name, carries the weight. Before we go to break, Kraut, from an offensive perspective, how would you attack this dude?
I give him one little wiggle.
You
shoot one little wiggle.
No wiggles don't work
through there.
Hey,
one little wiggle.
You
give him a shoulder drop, and then you think he's going to dive. Then I'm going to pop back. Then I'm going to do another wiggle. Then a spin move. Then a little, stiff arm.
He hit you with the
shoot.
I think you could drop the hammer on Farley.
Yeah. Hey, I know it's Farley.
Eric and Farley, I want to talk. I think people don't understand what we talk about when you win a national championship, the sacrifice it makes. They think like, we're a bunch of old guys, and we're just out here trying to, when your parents say, listen, I used to walk to school 2 miles uphill into snow in a 40-mile-an-hour wind. Now they might have done it for a day, but we've actually did it. Talk about some of the sacrifices you have to make, maybe for people that really, don't hear from you, what you have to make in order to be a championship team. I want Farley to go first, and then Eric, you'll end.
I think what some people don't realize is what we sacrifice is that we don't go home on the summer. We stay up here all summer. We work out. We work hard. We demand that everybody come to the facility at the same time. It's many a times that I wanted to go home for summertime and probably a week, but I'm right back on campus. So, and the kids these days don't understand the sacrifice we got because they got a lot of money. We didn't have a lot of money. $382 wasn't a lot of money.
That was a good month.
I think mine was like $410, maybe.
Yeah, that was on a good month.
Yeah, that was on a good
right
month.
Now it's a little lean after Thanksgiving. Asked it to start. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh yeah. For me, I just remember putting in the extra time. Before practice, I'd come out early and do footwork and throw some routes with guys that, hey, yesterday we didn't hit that out route, 3rd and long. We need to hit it today. So we'll go out there and you throw some routes. Same thing after the practice is over. Hey, grab a couple running backs. Hey, let's do a couple sprint. Make sure we're, on our option pitches. Timings are good, right? So, you don't take advantage of the fact that we struggled in practice, but we'll be good tomorrow. You go work it out so that the next day you're confident in what you're doing in your operation. And so the extra time, I just, the hours and hours of film and not just the practice, but the weight room. It just, I don't remember having a smidge of free time when you're playing football. So I don't think that's changed, but I just know when you feel like you're done, that's when you need to put the extra time in.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. There's always somebody working. I think the good fear of never doing enough was probably instilled in us, and it was probably just a way of life. I want to ask you one question before we go to break. We ran the option, and obviously very few teams in this day and age. Well, let me actually correct that. The spread offense is just the option with the fullback displays. People don't understand it.
Yep.
Do you think the true option, the one that you ran in high school and the one obviously you perfected in college, could work in this day and age of college football?
I mean, there's no doubt. I think the fear is, how much time it takes, and it's, what coaches are really running it.
Yeah.
So, if you're a defense, right, and you knew you're coming up against Nebraska, you're like, man, I just had 11 weeks of the same. Now I got to come deal with this stuff, and
Cut
you just
blocks
don't, cut
and
blocks, and this guy's going to run at me and do all this weird stuff, and then he's going to pitch it. I'm going to look like a fool, and you got to be athletic. So we would take advantage of a lot of those teams where maybe a defensive end or maybe a linebacker wasn't as quick. When a tackle could get up on him, and we'd study where. For me, it's completely different. I'm studying the line and the backers and the safeties like I should have been if I was throwing the football. I'm studying the corners and the nickel and the safety. I knew everything in the box. Right, the box was where I was watching, and so that's a little bit different than what guys are kind of looking at now.
Yeah. Farley, do you think it could work?
I think it could.
Yeah, I think if you're a school that's trying to make an instant impact, where if you have the right coaches that will invest in it, because it's got to be a way of life now, because practices are not fun.
Think about these defenses now; they're lining up 3 on the ball.
Yeah, you get the soft edge, right?
And these hybrid guys that are coming in, we'd have to line up a pretty big eye back there again.
Yeah. So. Anyways, appreciate you stopping by, man.
Thanks for having me on.
Enjoy to see
Appreciate it.
even obviously at the other events that we're at.
Yep.
Eric Crouch, Jay Foreman, T. Farley. Hey, listen, what's funny? We got 3 Hall of Famers up here.
Yeah,
I love it.
Who would have thought, Eric?
No,
when we were sitting there chilling, man, we would end up in Nebraska Hall of Fame, man.
Never.
Three knuckleheads figured out a little bit.
Me and Jay sitting in the same film room.
Yeah.
Half sleep. Craig Bowe.
Craig Bowe is singing Sweet Nothings to us while we're going to sleep. Anyways,
we did something right.
Quick break. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese, with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town. If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Dana Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Dana Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Dana Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Are you ready to make a difference this holiday season? Schwiezo Construction and TMCO are hosting a diaper drive December 5th through the 19th. They're collecting diapers, pull-ups, and wipes to benefit TMCO Prep Academy, the Nebraska Diaper Bank, and Forward. Drop off your donations at Schwiezo Construction, 93.7 The Ticket, Pine Lake Self-Storage, or White Elm Brewery. Together, we care for our community. For more information, please visit Schwiezo Construction's website or Facebook page today.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agriculture storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post-frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
Here at Midwest Bank, we want to thank all the generous donors who helped us make our 2025 turkey dinner for schools a success. Thanks to the generosity, we raised enough money to provide 191 families across 6 different schools in Lincoln with a full Thanksgiving meal. With your support, we've made Thanksgiving Day for these families a little brighter. We want to wish everyone a healthy and happy Thanksgiving. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
Husker fans watch women's basketball, so we can't wait to see you in the stands at Pinnacle Bank Arena this season. Single game tickets start at just $12, making it easier than ever to watch the Huskers from the best seat in the house. Don't miss your chance to witness the energy, the hustle, and the heart of this team live in PBA. Huskers watch women's basketball, so get your tickets now at huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
Did you know that deer collisions are covered under the comprehensive portion of your car insurance? That means, like with hail damage or vandalism, since they are out of your control, they don't usually raise your insurance rates. And that's a good thing, since most deer don't carry liability insurance. At Eustace Body Shop, we fixed all kinds of animal collision damage, from cows to raccoons, bobcats, and even turkeys. We can't do much for the animal, but we can get your car back on all fours and looking like new again.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Hi, I'm Steve Carper for O Street Carpet. For Christmas, we're doing everything possible to help you spruce up your home without making a dent in your holiday budget. If you need new wood flooring, new carpet, ceramic tile, vinyl, area rugs, or custom blinds, you want to shop at O Street Carpet. We offer 12 months same-as-cash financing, Lincoln's best selection in stock, free in-home measuring, and we'll install it right away. 1732 O Street. We want to make you a customer for life.
Leaves are falling and temperatures are cooling down, but don't put your golf clubs away. Double Eagle Golf makes golf leagues and events possible year-round. Winter leagues begin on December 1st and are open for registration. Check out their deals on monthly memberships and schedule your Husker Watch parties, birthday or bachelor parties, corporate or team outings, or just a good old Saturday with the boys. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Book a tee time today or learn more at doubleeagle.golf.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln area. We are going to keep this train rolling in a big way with new half-ton and 4x4 pickup trucks starting at $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You heard that right, $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You pick which one works better for you. Please stop on in the dealership and meet the team or check us out at koppelcars.com. Stock number C280930. All deals with approved credit.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back once again, old school, with Dave Foreman, Nick Sainer. But got my main man, Jeremiah Searles, to my left. Always good to be in good company, Jeremiah.
Hey,
you know,
good to be here.
Appreciate you coming out. It's a great event. You do some media stuff. Obviously, you do a lot of do a lot of things. I know you train an offensive lineman.
Yep.
You're an agent. But we'll talk a little Nebraska football.
Of course.
Because the season's over, and obviously we've had one move as far as, at least, I don't know if any more has been made since we've been on air. Obviously with Coach Butler, I guess being released, I guess, or whatever. What are your overall thoughts on the season? Just the whole, 90-foot view on the season.
Yeah, I've been kind of conflicted by it, honestly, because you think about where this team was just 2 years ago and what we were just like, hey, man, bowl game would be great. Get back to 6 wins, get back to 7 wins. And then we did that last year. And then you go early in the season, you go, okay, well, what's next? Well, let's get the one-score games off our back, right? Let's get the learning how to beat up on the teams we're supposed to beat up on. Right. Let's learn fixing the turnovers, fixing the penalties. We checked so many boxes, but then it felt like the end result was a little bit like the same.
Right.
And so for me, I'm conflicted on a lot of it because I'm encouraged by a lot.
Right.
And then there's still a lot of questions that you still need to be answered. But for me, overall, I like the direction in which we're headed and everything's going there. As long as, this is going to be, you kind of look at NFL style. It's like, okay, well, what are we going to do in free agency now?
Yeah.
Like, that's the next evaluation point for this staff and for this university. It's like, okay, have they identified issues? And I think moving on from Butler is a quick rule, makes a quick decision. Hey, that wasn't good enough. Time to move on. So overall, you look at the season and it wasn't exactly what we wanted it to be, but I saw progress in a lot of areas.
My grandma used to always tell me this. I guess it must be in the Bible. I should know this, but she's like, how soon they forget. How soon people forget, the fans forget. We're 3-9. Obviously, I felt like, and I want your opinion, from year 1 to year 2 was a big step, right? And then from year 2 to 3, if year 1 to year 2 was 2 steps, year 2 to 3 was maybe 1.
Yeah.
And so you expect 2, especially with the circumstances and the schedule, so forth and so on. Maybe that plays in it. So the next 3 weeks, obviously, I think this is 2026, like, look-see, just because you'll see some players.
Yep.
If you're going to change anything, obviously, it's already happened. What do you expect to see come December 30th or 31st?
Yeah, I would like to see – I mean, first of all, I want to see Latif healthy. Like,
Yeah.
I want to see – I think that was a huge part of the Iowa game is, I mean, your quarterback's got a pulled hamstring. You probably had a 30%, 40% of your game plan was him with his legs. You look back at Penn State. He's on the roll. He's on the run. You nix that out.
Yeah.
Right? I'd like to see, obviously, with Emmett declaring for the draft, he was unclear if he was going to play in the bowl game or not, but usually when guys declare, that usually means they're not.
Yeah.
And so get to see guys like Nelson and, get to see some of the other guys at running back, like, hey, who's going to take this by the balls and go?
Yeah.
But the opportunity's there. So I'd like to see that the running back position on that run there. And then also, I mean, the steps I want to see from our defense is, hey, we made the change with Butler. Are we going to try some things out in the bowl game? Are we going to go to more of a 4-down front? Are we going to stay in this 3-3-5? And, you can't reinvent the wheel in 3 weeks.
Right.
But it's the time of the year to
Adjust
throw
a little
some,
bit.
adjust and make some adjustments and see if maybe that can be a blueprint for moving forward. And obviously then maybe even through practices with that adjustment, see what you need to go really get in the portal.
What kind of opportunity, Jay? What kind of opportunity is it for these guys, like, before you go assess the portal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is an opportunity that so-and-so from another school had before they come in or before the staff identifies a position of need. This is your chance to show, like, hey, this could be my starting job next year because of what you do. This is an important 3 weeks for some of these guys.
Yeah, and so many of these guys, and to your point, Jay, so how quickly we forget, the development that happens with the young guys in these 3 weeks is huge.
Right.
But like guys like Rocco Spindler, Henley Lutovsky, like, they don't need to take 40 reps this week.
Right.
But you look at like Sam Sledge and Brixton, and you look at guys
Peters
like
and all those guys,
all those young cats that are like, hey, man, this is 3 weeks of reps that if you didn't make a bowl game, you wouldn't get.
Right.
And it is. You're exactly right. This is an audition for the coaches to look and go, couldn't this dude become a 50-play snap a game guy?
Right.
Or is this dude still a 25 snap a game guy? And we're going to have to go find a guy that's going to bridge the gap until he's ready. Or, hey, this dude can't do it. Right? He just can't do it. And we live in the college football era now where, hey, if you can't do it, we're going to politely ask you to hit the portal. And
we'll find somebody who will.
And we'll find someone who will. And so it's a job now. You have to, and if you don't treat it like a job and you don't treat it like a professional, then you're going to get ran out of the building, unfortunately.
Jeremiah, from a defensive perspective, I get questions all the time. You know this from being in the pros. It doesn't matter what the coordinator says. This is my defense, 3-4, 3-3-5, 4-3. I try to explain to people. Every team, majority of the time, plays 4-man front.
Yes.
Because it's so much spread and nickel. But from an offensive perspective, since I've tried to explain it from a defensive perspective, talk about some of the stressors that a 3-man front can provide versus a 4-man front for our listeners.
Yeah, the biggest thing, the idea of the 3-man front, right, is you want speed versus power, right? And so there's some pros and cons to it. If I'm a guard in a 3-man front, right, I don't have anyone in front of me initially, but that means that you've now created space between me and what you would hope to be a faster linebacker.
Right.
And so if I'm having to climb up in space, you're betting, hey, this dude's going to be able to dip, rip, get a and that front there with the 3-man spacing there. And then in the pass game, it's a big stressor because things are happening all over the place, right? 4-down front, pass game. Okay, usually you have the slide side, so you're going to double team one guy and you go. When you have that 3-down front, very rarely is it just rushing 3. It's rushing guys off the ball. It's twists, it's movement. So now you're putting stressors from an offensive line of communication, identification. The running back now has to be involved. Hey, who are you guys going to, right? And then the looks are always chaos, right? The looks with that. And so just the big stressor is usually in the pre-snap.
Right.
The pre-snap's the big stressor for the offensive lineman of being sure that you identify everything correctly, because if you don't, then disaster happens. But at the end of the day, the thing that comes down to it, now you said it, it doesn't matter if it's 3-3-5, 3-4, 5-2, 4-3. There's no magic pill to stop the run.
Right.
Besides guys up front just getting after it. Yeah. Like, I don't care what you put. You could put 6 guys up there. If they're not winning their one-on-one matchups, it's not going to matter. And so, I mean, everyone talks about, well, all this 3-3-5. It's like, our guys just weren't good enough up front to stop the run this year. Like, that was really what it came down to. And everyone wants to say Butler falls on the sword, but I played against a ton of different defenses that have guys up front that can just stop the run.
Right.
And so I think that's a big piece of regardless whatever system we go to, the guys up front have to be the ones to do it.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think I've seen defenses in the NFL not be as big and sturdy. You like to say, like when I played in Buffalo, we had Ted Washington and those guys, and you played, with Pat Williams.
Yep.
He was, on my team in Buffalo.
Kyle Williams in Buffalo too,
yeah. Where then you see some teams, old, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where they didn't want a linebacker over 215.
Yes.
And they had one big three technique, and Warren Sapp, that was a problem, and everybody else was rather small. So it can work. It's more of a mindset. So it'll be interesting to see that switch in the mindset for, Nebraska, moving forward. I want to ask you also about a coach. I'm not sure if he was on the staff when you were here, is Mike Eckler.
Yeah.
But me and you know from the pros how important special teams
Yes.
is. Now, I never really messed with the kickers because I was like, I want you to be in the right mind frame. Talk how important it's been for him to come in and not only settle down the special teams, but make it an asset in a problem for the opposing team.
Yeah, and it goes back to the first question you asked me, what I think about the season. Well, we didn't talk about, I can remember holding my breath for extra points, right? Like our extra point team would come out there and be like,
50-50 at best, right?
Like you're like, man, this should not be an adventure, but it is. And Eckler was with me. He was one of the guys that recruited me, and I remember when we hired him, I was like, that's one of the best hires that we could ever done. And because he wasn't just going to come in and make the special team serviceable, he was going to make him a contributor and a difference maker.
Yeah.
And so, having him come in and settle everything down, and obviously from the kickers to he won us some football games this year.
Oh, I think 3.
Right? At least 3 games. I think that special teams won us those football games.
Right.
And, when you can say, okay, well, an entire phase got fixed, Eckler is such a great dude. And, unlike you, honestly, I hate kickers. I can't with them, right? There's too many times where I've had like a 13-play drive and you go down and then they miss the extra point and they look at you and do the chest pat like, oh, my bad. My bad. It's like, you're damn right it's your bad. I just died for the last 8 minutes. And you're bad. I had a kicker in Buffalo, Stephen Hauschka, that he wouldn't kick on Wednesdays if he didn't feel right.
Former Seahawks guy.
Yeah, he wouldn't kick right if he didn't feel right. And then we get out there on Sunday and he missed one. I'd be like, what are we doing? Should have kicked on Wednesday, right? Kickers are different, though.
Yeah.
They're just different breeds.
Very finicky. I would say that everybody always hates kickers. You want to know the reason why I hate kickers? Because in training camp, at least when we had real training camp, I'd see Jeremiah, I'd see the linemen or whatever. Then you'd be like, where are the kickers? Well, they'd be at the grocery store golfing because they can't kick every day. When we had 2-a-days and all that.
Yep.
So I hate them because then they, go out there and slice one or something like that.
That was okay. Speaking of kickers, that was one of the issues. Red zone issues were such a big talking point this year. But even you look at the Iowa game, and I remember Jay and I on our post game, we were talking like, all right, if you just look at the drive chart and you see the differences in that first half, and even going into the second half, it was like 5 straight drives. Iowa, it was field goal, touchdown, 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 touchdown. Where Nebraska, it was completely flipped. They started out with a touchdown, and then it was field goal, field goal, field goal. That was a major difference. Sure, the TJ Lateef injury, but Nebraska, that Iowa game just summarized, it felt like so many of the issues that Nebraska had, and it finally caught up to them. Because in the game against UCLA, maybe they were able to still outrun them at times. Nebraska struggled to not only sustain drives, but really punch it in for 7.
Yeah.
And they had a result for 3 at times.
Yeah, the problem with that is if you can't run the ball effectively in the low red zone, you're toast. Yeah. You're just toast. And teams know it, and so they load up, and then you force guys to throw it on the edge. And that was even an issue with Dylan at times. They knew we were handing it to EJ. Right? Yeah. Everyone in the building knew it. And so they sold out and said someone else beat us. So many times I can think of, end zone fades that were super close or whatever it might be. We just never really unlocked that ability to run the football in the low red. And I thought with Lateef getting in, how many times do we watch Adrian Martinez, Tommy Armstrong, Taylor Martinez run the simple zone read inside the 5-yard line, and it's almost impossible to stop when you add one of those guys, and they're walking in. Right, so I think adding something like that with Lateef, and then obviously we tried it with Harburg, and it went horribly wrong, so maybe I'm an idiot. Right, but you think about just adding some types of wrinkles down there and not having to make it an adventure every time, but being able to just to get the edge run game. Because I think this is a piece that, as an O-lineman, I watched this year was teams realized the Michigan game put a bell on it. We could not run outside the tackles. Right, our outside perimeter run was non-existent because our tackle play obviously was all over the map. Our tight end blocking wasn't great, so all of our running was between the tackles.
Right.
And when you become one-dimensional in the run game, you don't have a pin-pull scheme. You don't have an outside toss game.
Definitely
becomes
can't do gap
really
and all that. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
It becomes really hard. Those safeties are standing at 8 yards with no fear of something going around the edge.
Right.
So that's a big piece that I think Dana Holgerson's going to have to look at and go, how do we get a variety more in our run game this year, besides just in between the tackles behind Henry Lutovsky, who's gone, and Rocco, who's gone, and obviously Justin's back.
Right. I want to ask you on a totally different subject because we see Ole Miss right here.
Yes.
And obviously you've been in NFL locker rooms, college locker rooms. Obviously we didn't have transfer portal NIL, at least on the books, right? When we played. What is your feeling on Lane Kiffin, his exit? Should he been able to coach through the CFP and all that?
I mean, I think that from a former player's perspective, like I feel horrible for those seniors at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
They've been there for 6 years with their guy. They finally put it all together. They're making a national title run, but because of the era in football in which we live in, their head coach is yanked. And so then I look at it from Ole Miss's perspective, and you cannot have your division rival's head coach in your locker room for the next 6 weeks.
But you can have the offensive coordinator?
It's not. It's different.
Okay.
Different.
Like, how is it different? Because I think a lot of people are asking
the head man carries so much weight and so much power, and that dude. I mean, I still see Bo Pelini to this day, and there's still that little bit of like, oh my God, it's coach. Like, and so like Lane carries so much weight that if they go on a great run and they make it to the semis and make it to the Natty, that whole team's going to want to come back with Lane.
Yeah.
Going to be like, I'm out of here. See, I'm going to LSU. And so from Ole Miss's perspective, you just can't have that opportunity. And then if you're LSU too, you're like, dude, I'm paying you $90 million. Get over here and build your team. Like, and so from a former players, it's a tough place to be. I like the fact that they moved the transfer portal into January. Right. So it gives pieces to go through there. I think that was a good move by college football in that realm there. And then, the one transfer portal window is helping. So there's some regulations getting put in on it, but my heart just it feels for those dudes that have just been battling Ole Miss, and you finally got there, and now your head man's gone.
It's equivalent in the pros that you finally make the playoff. And then
your coordinator
leaves, 100%. And then next thing you know, he's trying to do both. In the NFL, they let you, or
like Ben Johnson's a perfect example of that, right? Detroit makes it last year. Ben Johnson gets hired by Chicago. They stay. They get cooked in the playoffs, and then he's gone.
And it just doesn't look the same, right? Just a little bit of details is off, and that's
we saw it this year with Rule in Minnesota. Right, it wasn't even. It was just discussions, right? That Minnesota week it's Rule going to be the head coach at Penn State, and everyone can say block out the noise, block out the noise. It's impossible.
Yeah.
It's impossible. You're going to practice and you're looking at your coach like, are you here? Are you not here? And even then, those little distractions, especially in the NFL, they can lead to wins and losses so quickly.
One more question real quick before we, let you go. What do you think? Because you talked about how they changed the schedule. What do you think if they just kind of blew the college football schedule up and almost tried to marry it or maybe get ahead of the NFL schedule, end early, keep the signing period the same and the portal the same because the season will be over?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think the only way you can do that is the problem is it's still student athlete.
Yeah.
And so you have to be enrolled for the spring semester and you have to be enrolled for that early semester.
So you changed the whole academic calendar too, right?
I think in order to do that, which is where I think college football and college basketball is headed, is it's going to basically succeed from the NCAA. They're going to be their own minor league while still going to school.
Right.
But it's not going to be tied to school. I think as long as it's still tied to school, this is about as big as a stretch you can get for the schedule just based off of portal and school. But I think as soon as you walk away from that, then you can build whatever schedule you want. But then you're talking about unions, then you're talking about commissioners and employment contracts and all that stuff, which is probably the right thing to go instead of hiding behind this veil of NIL and not calling it pay for play.
It's fascinating because just today we saw a massive donation or investment into Michigan State. $401 million. And I was talking earlier today with somebody about, if you want to know where the priority is at, $390 million of that is going to athletic initiatives. Now, whether that's resources, whether that's NIL contribution, whatever it might be, $11 million is going to academic initiatives.
Yes.
I mean, that's just, if you need
as blatant
as
an example of where the priority is at, today is a great example.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing as the argument with the WNBA.
Bingo.
Right? Like, what pays the bills? Right? What brings in the money? College football is a money printing machine.
Yeah.
And so if you're a university and you decide not to throw money behind it, a la Clemson, right? You fall off.
Yeah.
Like Dabo Sweeney was like, you should just want to come to Clemson because you should want to come to Clemson.
You ever been to Clemson?
I have not.
I
No.
have. You do not want to go to Clemson.
I've been to Spartanburg, South Carolina
Yeah.
when I was with the Panthers for training camp, hottest place on earth.
Right.
Like, and so if you decide that you're going to be this kind of, like you said, where we're academics and we're culture, like that's not the era that we live in anymore. It's adapt or die.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that's tough. I mean, it'd be interesting to see what they do or don't do when they decide to break off, because I think they need to probably get it in warp speed, because even if you look at the CFP, if Troy wins, now the CFP, the networks are mad now.
Yeah.
So when the networks get mad, that's when.
Well, I mean, if Duke beats Virginia,
right,
chaos,
right. Well,
chaos.
it's chaos that we'll be able to talk about.
Yeah.
But the guys that have paid all the money for these super leagues, they're going to be mad because they want to see the
100%.
blue bloods, and so. Well, I guess let's hope for upsets, then we'll get the schedule changed. How about that?
Yes.
No skin off Nebraska's back because we're playing December 30th to 31st
Yeah.
anyways. Appreciate you, Jeremiah.
Absolutely.
Always good seeing you. And obviously, your knowledge is obviously right on point. Jay Foreman, Jeremiah Searles, Nick Sainert. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey guys, it's Nick. Join Aaron Davis and I next Monday from 9 to 11 a.m. as we broadcast The Drive live from the Lincoln Children's Museum. The museum is getting ready to unveil a brand new exhibit for children 8 to 12 years old on Saturday, December 13th, but we give you a sneak peek on Monday from 9 to 11 a.m. as we broadcast The Drive live from the Lincoln Children's Museum in downtown Lincoln.
Your Christmas list changes a lot as you get older. Dreams of video games, remote-controlled cars, and baseball gloves turn into dreams of shoes. You know, practical things. Brown's Shoe Fit is the king of shoes in Lincoln, with brands like Sorel, UGG, Brooks, Hoka, and more to make you fashionable and comfortable. Grab a new Ridge wallet or buy 3 get 1 free on smart wool socks for the ultimate stocking stuffer. And don't forget a reliable gift card for that hard-to-buy-for person in your life. Brown's Shoe Fit at 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Here at Midwest Bank, we want to thank all the generous donors who helped us make our 2025 turkey dinner for schools a success. Thanks to the generosity, we raised enough money to provide 191 families across 6 different schools in Lincoln with a full Thanksgiving meal. With your support, we've made Thanksgiving Day for these families a little brighter. We want to wish everyone a healthy and happy Thanksgiving. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agriculture storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post-frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mostly sunny skies with a light breeze, an afternoon high around 39. Tonight, partly cloudy skies and light winds, below around 19. And tomorrow, a chance of rain and snow, otherwise mainly cloudy skies and breezy with a high near 37. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and ticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln area. We are going to keep this train rolling in a big way with new half-ton and 4x4 pickup trucks starting at $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You heard that right, $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You pick which one works better for you. Please stop on in the dealership and meet the team or check us out at coppellcars.com. Stock number C280930. All deals with approved credit.
Husker fans watch women's basketball, so we can't wait to see you in the stands at Pinnacle Bank Arena this season. Single game tickets start at just $12, making it easier than ever to watch the Huskers from the best seat in the house. Don't miss your chance to witness the energy, the hustle, and the heart of this team live in PBA. Huskers watch women's basketball, so get your tickets now at huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
Hi, I'm Steve Carper for O Street Carpet. For Christmas, we're doing everything possible to help you spruce up your home without making a dent in your holiday budget. If you need new wood flooring, new carpet, ceramic tile, vinyl, area rugs, or custom blinds, you want to shop at O Street Carpet. We offer 12-month same-as cash financing, Lincoln's best selection in stock, free in-home measuring, and we'll install it right away. 1732 O Street. We want to make you a customer for life.
Did you know that deer collisions are covered under the comprehensive portion of your car insurance? That means, like with hail damage or vandalism, since they are out of your control, they don't usually raise your insurance rates. And that's a good thing, since most deer don't carry liability insurance. At Eustace Body Shop, we fixed all kinds of animal collision damage, from cows to raccoons, bobcats, and even turkeys. We can't do much for the animal, but we can get your car back on all fours and looking like new again.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese, with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to The Mercado today for the best meat in town.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back. There's very few times that I get it. Well, I always get excited when I have people on, but I'm always excited when I have one of my former coaches on. We got Frank Solich, former Nebraska coach, obviously Ohio coach. I always tell people, Coach, man, I judge coaches on how much they care about their players. And I can tell you, obviously, I was a senior your first year being the head coach at Nebraska, made a lasting impression on me and how to treat people when I went to the next level and evaluate it. So I want to obviously thank you for that.
Yeah.
Welcome you back to Lincoln.
Well, thank you. Yeah, and I appreciate those comments, Jay. And, the thing that I had going for me that was a plus is that I played under Bob Devaney, who was great at handling players, and players loved him. They played for him. And I coached as freshman coach and then running backs coach with Coach Osborne. And by the way, both those guys in the Coaching Football Hall of Fame, of course. Yeah. So, and Coach Osborne, even though he and Bob, their personalities completely different, they treated players the same, and players loved them and they played for him. And so I just tried to emulate that as much as I could in my college career.
When you obviously had great success here, and obviously went to Ohio, and obviously as you started to coach different generations of players, right? And obviously it started to change, and obviously I heard the stories from my dad, and I know you probably have different stories. What is your view on college football now? Do you like it, love it, or are you kind of just waiting to see what happens, because obviously it's drastically different from when you coached and I played?
Well, I love watching the games.
Yeah,
but,
less stress, right? Yeah.
But there's some things that they've got to, I think, get straightened out in college ball. And right now, the way the system is working, it's it's tough. It's tough on the players in some ways. For other players, it's a big lift for them, you know. But not all of them.
Right.
And then as far as the coaches go, it's just so much more work that has to get done by the coaches, and they already had quite a schedule and quite a few things to handle. And so, as I look back on it, we'd be there early in the morning, and be there late at night, and now it's got to be every much that.
Yeah, and year round too.
Yeah, year round, and so I think at some point in time they'll figure out something to do with the system to help make it work. The NCAA didn't get anything done, and so we'll see where it goes from there. But it looks to me like they're moving a little bit more towards the pro model,
right?
And maybe that's not all bad if they're going to continue to do what they've been doing.
Yeah, if you're paying players, you're almost a semi-pro, and obviously it's obviously in the Big Ten and the SEC, you're really an extension of the next level. I always want to ask Coach. I asked Coach Osborne this. I'm going to ask you this. And for me, obviously, I coach basketball, in the summer. I wanted to ask you, how stressful is it when you go to practice all week? Because I've been there, right? Where you practice all week, you're like, oh, it looks good. And then you're, 20-some yards away, and you're hoping and praying they execute it the way that you saw it, Monday through Friday.
I love that part of it. I love the competition. I love working with the players, getting them prepared to play their best football, and in doing so, give themselves their best chance to show themselves, and does well for the university, and it does well for most coaching careers.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, you get to hang around a little bit longer when they play better, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, it's it was great. I really enjoyed it, Jay, and I miss it now.
Right.
But the most I miss is being around the players and coaches and the competitiveness of it.
Right.
I love to go to Penn State and play them when I was at Ohio.
Right.
Yeah.
Knock them off.
Yeah,
a little bit.
it's a little bit of a challenge, and we got her done.
Yeah.
And there were other examples of that.
Right.
Those things I just loved. And we came back on the bus ride from Penn State. We didn't fly. We took a bus when we were at Ohio.
Oh yeah, you grind it out too. Yeah.
Yeah. And we won that game, and we beat Pittsburgh. And those moments with your players, not that all the other wins weren't as important,
right,
but those kind of wins in front of those kind of crowds, always away games, because they wanted to pay you to come in. It just was a big part of feeling great about having coached at that level.
Yeah, life-changing moments for those players. I mean, obviously, we were able to win national championships. That's always one of our fondest memories after the Florida game.
Yeah.
Obviously, very tight locker room,
but
the elation of destroying them, and then we didn't know at the time that we were going to be one of the greatest teams of all time.
Yeah.
But obviously, we were able to do that. Another question I wanted to ask you, Coach, as you look at it, and I think really good coaches, obviously, you're a byproduct of assistants and obviously the players. What are some of the things you look for when hiring a coach or an assistant or a coordinator or anything like that?
Certainly, you definitely got to look into a guy's background, first of all. Then I contact as many coaches as I can that know the coach that I'm going to be interviewing, and try to get a feel for what he's like through those coaches that he's worked with through their eyes, And as it goes on, I get in with an interview with a coach. It's not too hard to get a good feel about him in terms of his knowledge of the game, because you can give him questions, you can put him on the spot a little bit, and see how he responds to that. But I look at how he communicates, and how he'd communicate with the players. Not only being able to teach them and coach them the system, but being able to also make sure that coach is developing the young man as much as he can to move on with life after football. And so if you get a guy that's able to do all those things, you got yourself a pretty good guy, And I look for loyalty in a coach, because football is a tough business, and not that I think they all should look at opportunities when opportunities come as an assistant, but just being loyal to the program and to the other coaches on the staff in everything that you do is important to me. So I look for that, and then I look for guys that are going to develop toughness. Because as far as I'm concerned, if you have toughness, if your players have some toughness about them, you're going to give yourself a chance.
Yeah. I mean, and that's my next question. Do you think in this day and age, obviously the rules have changed, how many padded practices, and I'm not sure in your last few years if it changed, how much it changed. How hard is it, or do you think you can still develop the right amount of toughness that we know you need in order to be successful?
I look for toughness when I recruit a player.
Right.
I look for it on film. I talk to their high school coaches about it, because, again, I want to recruit as many as those kind of guys as I possibly can. And the toughness end of it will come into play. I don't care what position you're talking about. If you don't have toughness about you, you're only going to get so far as a player. You're only going to get so far as a team.
Yeah.
So that's one of the very first things I look at. Certainly, I look at. We like to recruit. I like to recruit bright players because smart football players. I saw this in a pro locker room one time when I was visiting a pro program. It says a sign up there in the locker room says "Smart players get better."
Yeah.
And I think that's great. Great information there. That was great information for me.
Yeah.
And I found that to be true. If a player's smart, he really finds ways to make himself better and to be part of a team.
Yeah, I always remember you used to tell us we got to figure it out. Because we're out there. We do actually have to figure it out. One more question, Coach, before I let you go. What are the things that you like, I guess we don't have to get into a lot of depth, but I guess, moving forward, what are some of the things you maybe want to see in year 4, I think, of Nebraska, obviously with the bowl game, moving forward?
Yeah, well, first of all, I think Coach Rule is doing a great job. And, he is bringing the program around.
Right.
When a program is really down, you just don't bounce back all that quickly. There's got to be steps that are taken, and I think he's got all the qualities of a coach. I think he works hard at trying to hire the right people, and I believe that from getting to know him, that he's a guy that will treat his players in a manner that's going to help them become players that are devoted to the program and will play their heart out for you.
Right.
And so I think he's got a lot of that going for himself, and he's proven at other schools that he can get it done.
Right.
And so I'm all for him, and I want him to have success, and hopefully continues to move the program in a forward direction.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's doing a good job. I think obviously when you're there and you got some success and now they want more, it's a good problem. I think when you start to have standards and expectations. So
that's exactly right.
Who likes it when you're only playing for a couple Marlboro? Let's play them for them all, right? Coach, like you used to. So appreciate you coming by, stopping on. I'm glad you're back in Lincoln. I know I get to see you a lot more than I did before. So I always tell you, man, you got a special place in my heart, and obviously here in Nebraska.
Thank you, but I appreciate it. It's great to see you again.
Yeah. Jay Foreman, Coach Solitz, Old School. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to The Mercado today for the best meat in town.
The top-ranked Nebraska volleyball team is trying to play its way to the Final Four in Kansas City. Make your plans now to cheer on the Huskers with a VIP travel experience from Sports Trip and the Nebraska Alumni Association. Travel round trip from Lincoln in a luxury motor coach with free parking, plus an overnight stay at the beautiful Hotel Indigo in Kansas City. See details and register at HuskerAlumniTrip.com. Hurry, spots are limited. Register now at HuskerAlumniTrip.com.
Here at Midwest Bank, we want to thank all the generous donors who helped us make our 2025 turkey dinner for schools a success. Thanks to the generosity, we raised enough money to provide 191 families across 6 different schools in Lincoln with a full Thanksgiving meal. With your support, we've made Thanksgiving Day for these families a little brighter. We want to wish everyone a healthy and happy Thanksgiving. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Steve Carper for O Street Carpet. For Christmas, we're doing everything possible to help you spruce up your home without making a dent in your holiday budget. If you need new wood flooring, new carpet, ceramic tile, vinyl, area rugs, or custom blinds, You want to shop at O Street Carpet. We offer 12-month same-as cash financing, Lincoln's best selection in stock, free in-home measuring, and we'll install it right away. 1732 O Street. We want to make you a customer for life.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Imagine starting your day with a computer glitch that leaves you feeling stuck, frustrated, and unable to get your work done. You have 1,000,001 things to get done today, and waiting for the tech issue to solve itself isn't one of them. It's time to let Hamilton handle the tech so you don't have to. We help businesses across the state spend more time on what they do best and less time frustrated with office technology. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we're focused on providing custom solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Connect with us today at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Husker fans watch women's basketball, so we can't wait to see you in the stands at Pinnacle Bank Arena this season. Single game tickets start at just $12, making it easier than ever to watch the Huskers from the best seat in the house. Don't miss your chance to witness the energy, the hustle, and the heart of this team live in PBA. Huskers watch women's basketball, so get your tickets now at huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Attention parents of 8 to 12-year-olds. The Lincoln Children's Museum is opening a new exhibit designed specifically with them in mind. Mark your calendars for the grand opening on Saturday, December 13th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. On site, meet Love Nebraska volleyball players, including Lincoln's own Jordan Larson. Plus, the first 100 kids will receive a mini volleyball. Please note, fans must have a child with them to enter the museum. While you're there, be sure to check out the new Rock Wall, Book Nook, and Maker Studio. This event is free for members or included with regular daily admission. Learn more at lincolnchildrensmuseum.org.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Third hour, Jay Foreman, Nick Sainer, got a special guest, Java Chamberlain in here when we get the stream back up. We're live in effect out here in Liquid Assets, or at Liquid Assets, 27th Jamie Lane, Nebraska Greats Foundation event. Got a lot going on. What's so funny?
Nothing. Jake Sorensen's incredible daughter, Scotland, is here. And so I was just looking from afar. No, not easy. Easy on that, Jay. Anyway. How are we feeling, Jay? We're 2 hours into it. I see you're looking at the menu.
I'm famished. I've been working while you guys have been running your mouth.
No. Let's be honest here. The conversations for you guys with legends and icons like Coach Solich and other are conversations I just am not capable of. And so that's why I get out of the way and let you guys do your thing.
We appreciate that. Welcome, Java in. Java, I like talking to you because you bring I call it a worldly view. Obviously competed at a very high level, obviously professional baseball, and obviously very successful at Nebraska. And obviously when you've been a part of manager changes at times in your profession. What's your thoughts on obviously Nebraska making a defensive coordinator change, and what do you expect to see moving forward or want to see from Nebraska moving forward?
I mean, it's a loaded question, but like when it comes down to it, change is sometimes needed, sometimes is warranted, sometimes it's good and bad. We all seen it on both sides. from what we want to see is comparatively different to what should be seen, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what a lot of people misconstrue a lot of things, and you've seen it as well. It's like what we have on the field and what we see in our own mind are two different things. And so if you bring somebody in that necessarily doesn't build into what the culture is, they may schematically maybe do what you want to do, but culture is a huge part of that too.
Right.
So I think it goes hand in hand. So it's for me, it's not just one-sided or one-dimensional.
Right.
You got to bring in somebody that's going to do something that fits both sides of the fence.
Right.
Because I don't want to play for a guy that doesn't build into our culture just as much as he builds into what we want to do.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, we want to be the last one standing, right?
Right.
But also, if we ain't standing together, we ain't going to be the last one standing
Right.
anyways.
Yeah.
So I think it's two-sided in what do I want to see? I want to see winners. I want to see attitude. I think when you become complacent in the aspect of like we got there, I think there's a different mentality that it takes. And where does that start? It starts from the top two, and you can only create it so much. And when you have leaders that are great is one thing, but at the end of the day, they ain't on the field.
Yeah.
And so it takes a dog. You got to have that something. You got to have that chip on your shoulder. And when you get to that point, you become successful, and you see that, and it builds, and we've seen it at all levels of no matter what. I don't care. We have kids, and we've seen it from the junior high level to the high school level to the college level and beyond, and fortunate enough to play in the realms that we did. But I think when it comes down to it is you have to build into not only what you actually want to accomplish on the field, but also as a culture, what we do in the clubhouse and around the clubhouse and together.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great answer, because everybody thinks just because it's football and baseball is different, it's all the same. Just when you're trying to build a championship, organization, team, or rechange the culture. And sometimes you just need one move, or one move that leads to multiple moves. And so, we'll see what happens. I think, I want to ask you, and Nick can jump in here too. Because I'm about to ask a baseball question.
I appreciate
it. And the reason why I always, because obviously in Nebraska, we're not in Texas, and we're not able to play outside all the time. Nebraska's baseball team seems like you generally, from my perspective, catch their win later in the year. Tell everybody what the difference is when you're first starting out, even though you guys are working out here in Nebraska, or the team's working out in Nebraska. What are the big differences when you go from here to say when they play? I think they played in Dallas last year.
Yeah, whether it's the Desert Invitationals, things like that. Yeah.
Talk about the difference from a pitcher's perspective, but then also talk about from just a whole baseball perspective.
Well, I think we want to go south because we want to get warm, because we've been working indoors and getting outside as much as we can. And if we get to above freezing, we're outside.
Okay.
And so for us, it's different. As hitters, they don't want to get jammed. So as pitchers, for us, it's fantastic. I love pitching in the cold.
Right.
Because you know where I'm staying? I'm staying in or third, because you don't want to get jammed. That hurts.
Right.
At the same time, when you get hit when it's cold out, it feels different. It feels different with that.
Oh, yeah, it does. Yeah, don't feel good.
No. And so I think just from that, it's like you're getting south, and it's like you're getting warm weather. But when you come back, I'll never forget, we were playing a team from Texas. Won't say which one because there was a bunch back then. But it was 42 degrees on a Friday night, and we're like, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
Me mollywopped him 12-2,
right?
Because he wasn't ready to pitch because they're not used to that. So then it's just weird now when moving conferences, we're playing a lot of northern schools, that they all go south and get out of the cold weather.
Yeah.
But then now you come back, it's an even playing field, because when we were in the Big 12, we were the most northern school.
Right.
And so now you're playing Texas, who's been used to being outside all the time and doing all these other things. And so now it's a little bit different. And yeah, we're obviously having some West Coast school that added to the conference, which is completely different. Travel for baseball would be an unbelievable headache. I love Rob and I love Will and the things that they're doing, and had a conversation about that. I was like, man, we're lucky enough now. Everybody's like, oh, Nebraska, what is it? I was like, you know what? Travel is great because we're not too far from each side.
Yeah, right in the middle.
And now if you're USC, you got to come play here, then fly home, then go back. Maybe you got to play Rutgers.
Yeah.
Like, that's why even go home?
Yeah.
Like, you ain't even going to be in class either. You got to remember you're a student athlete.
Yeah.
You still got to be in class.
Yeah.
So I think for us, it's like we loved getting away to the South, but we loved being here. Because when we would play those schools, and now I think it's a little bit different in our sport, because now you're all kind of more on an even playing field.
Jabba, it's so fascinating because, I mean, there's a couple things there to what you said. One is the idea to go south also early in the year. It's a great opportunity because there's not a lot of Big Ten schools that maybe value baseball or invest in baseball the way Nebraska does, number one. Number two, that is a great chance to maybe boost the RPI, which is something that Nebraska doesn't get a lot of opportunities to do later in the year in conference play. But then number three is like, it is a privilege to be able to go play in the MLB Desert Invitational and go play in the Shriners College Showdown and in these fields with LSU and Arkansas and Oklahoma State and Texas Tech, because those tournaments could choose anybody. They could choose anybody from the north to say, hey, come on down. The fact that you choose Nebraska, number one, shows that you're competitive, and it's important that you do well in those tournaments. But then it's a huge opportunity, kind of litmus test to see where you're at from the start.
Well, and I think for as a player's perspective too, it's for us to play that competition. And I'm not taking anything away from the Big Ten
Not
by
at
any
all.
means.
Not at all.
But you're going to see different dudes that you're going to see on day one that are on, in Secaucus, New Jersey, getting drafted, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, whatever it is, and you're going to have a chance to do that. We don't really see a lot of that in the Big Ten. And I'm not saying it's the greatest, it's not the worst baseball conference, but it's not the best, and that's just kind of the way it is. But for us, it's like now going down and being able to show, it's like we can compete with you guys.
Exactly.
Like, I don't care that we're a northern school or whatever, but like, you want to match up with us, let's go. Like, we're going to match you, and we've seen it. And it just, I would love to see it translate continually out, because it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Yeah. Guy 3 or 4 in that pen or on that rotation for an SEC school would be a day one or a Friday night starter for a Big Ten or and there's other conferences, not just Big Ten, right? But we see it to where even managers at times, like Eric Bakich is a great example to where he's a guy that really got his career on a good trajectory. And then at his chance, he went to the ACC because it's just more of a baseball conference. It's trying to figure out, and that's where I hope, like, through leadership and Will Bolton and Rob Childress and Sirianni and all those guys do such a good job of trying to put Nebraska on the map, right? Because they are ready to go and face off against the teeth of their schedule. And you're probably undermatched a little bit, but you're competitive in February.
I think going back to exactly what it is, I think the NIL and everything has changed that. And there's something that really, like, for me, it's like looking at all sports, right? And we look at certain schools, and you know exactly probably what I'm going to talk about right here for a second. But you have a dominant program that's in this state, and you don't have one kid that goes to our programs. We need that. We have the number one pitcher that didn't sign with this school. Mm-hmm. How do we get those guys? What are we doing wrong? And I understand the NIL has changed that a little bit. But what can we do as programs? And it's not that we don't have the backing. It's not that we don't have the tradition. It's not that we don't have the love. I represent with this everything I have. I don't care if we've had down years in football. I'm still going to wear it. I'm still going to rock it. I'm still going to talk trash.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do because that's where I'm from and this is what I love. But it gets frustrating sometimes when we see great kids that could fit in what we're trying to do, because at the end of the day, my son's in college. I want wherever he goes, I don't care about the money. I don't care about anything. I want him to be raised to be a better man, a better father, a better son, a better teammate. I don't care. I always say, you can never make more time. You can always make more money. This is going to be a chance for you to be able to grow and to become a man. And now I think NIL has changed that a little bit, and the things that they want to do. And the question I always have to these parents when I talk to them is like, are we raising businessmen and women? Are we raising men or women?
Yeah.
Because you're sending them off. They ain't at home no more.
Right.
And there's influences beyond what we can do at this point. True. And now we're putting them in programs. Is that what they believe? Is that coach going to leave because he gets a better opportunity?
Right.
Are you going to leave because you got a better opportunity? Are you going to leave because you didn't like what they told you and it didn't happen?
Right.
What you going to do when it happens in real life? What happens when it struggles, when you got to go through some stuff? You just going to leave? You just walk away? What are we doing? And I think it's changed the complete dynamic of kind of how we as parents or how we as coaches kind of go into this. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I want to put our kids in the best situation of going south and being able to play those teams because maybe our conference isn't that great or have that opportunity. Then you look at it's like in the college playoff. It's like you're having teams that should be in it that aren't. So what do we do? Do we change it? Like, hey, listen to a show this morning. Hey, let's go to a neutral site. Let's put the ball up, put it on now. Let's go to work. Well, there's always changes to be made, but what is the right reason to do it, and how do we put these young men and women in the best situation that they can?
Yeah, it's always right now, especially with college football, money is the driving force from the networks, and that obviously is where you get the Lane Kiffin situations and stuff like that, which is unfortunate for the last thing that they think about is the players on the team. I want to ask you before we let you go, because it's a little bit of Dylan Raiola and TJ Lateef. Talk about the mindset, the different mindset of being a starting pitcher and coming out of the bullpen, because that's exactly where TJ is. Talk about the difference. Obviously you had a mindset and approach, and obviously potentially how TJ might approach this next game.
I think he has to look at it like, this is my chance, this is my opportunity. Like, you're not saying you are Raiola, you're not saying you're taking his job, but you have a job to do, and you have to go understand that, like, you're not stepping on toes right now. Like, you're going to ball out.
Yeah.
If that ain't your mindset, I don't want you anyways.
Right.
And if you end up going and outperforming whoever that, and I'm not saying it's Raiola, whoever it may be coming in, whatever, but if you go out and do your job, and you have to look at it, because if you don't, you ain't giving your team the best you can do. And so for me, it's like, okay, this dude set a standard here. All right, he's giving me the ball in the 6th, 7th, 8th inning, 9th inning. Okay, let me go be just as good, if not better.
Right.
Because then if I'm better, then what does that do? That makes our team better. And I think as a leader, because the game don't start until we go, right? So until we throw the ball, don't go. Until he snaps the ball, he can get in cadence, he can do whatever. But until he actually does it, the game don't start.
Yeah.
And so there's accountability, especially, but I've always said one thing. We're talking about teenagers.
Yeah.
They're still kids.
Yeah.
And there's a lot put on their shoulders. And don't put more pressure than what pressure should be.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you're fed, you got a roof over your head, and you're healthy. That's no such thing as pressure.
Yeah.
Go out and just be you.
Yeah. That's when you really dummy it down. That's the easiest way to look at it, and sometimes that's what's needed.
It's a KISS theory. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, Nick. See, there we go.
There it is. Jabba, should there be a salary cap in baseball?
No.
Okay. We're on the same page. That's all I needed to know.
Yeah, quick answer. So Jay Foreman, Nick Sainer, Java. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family. And as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now through December 7th, enjoy whole boneless ribeye for $15.88 per pound. USDA choice boneless chuck roast $6.99 per pound. All natural thick cut bone-in pork chops $2.49 per pound. And holiday boxes are now available. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. It doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, the number one fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln area. We are going to keep this train rolling in a big way with new half-ton and 4x4 pickup trucks starting at $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You heard that right, $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You pick which one works better for you. Please stop on in the dealership and meet the team or check us out at coppellcars.com. Stock number C280930. All deals with approved credit.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mostly sunny skies with a light breeze, an afternoon high around 39. Tonight, partly cloudy skies and light winds, the low around 19. And tomorrow, a chance of rain and snow, otherwise mainly cloudy skies and breezy with a high near 37. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and ticketfm.com.
Join Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealer, for our upcoming Parts and Service Expo events. Get 12% off parts the day of your local event. Can't make it? You can still save 10% on parts and 20% off planter parts December 1st through the 12th. It's the best time of the year to stock up on oil and filters. Grab John Deere gifts for under the tree and schedule your service inspections. Don't miss out. These deals only come around once a year at Landmark Implement. Find your nearest expo at landmarkimp.com and experience the Landmark difference.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com, or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
Water heater gone? Call Bryant. The price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. And in most cases, same-day replacement. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111.
Winter is just around the corner. Is your vehicle ready? Don't get left out in the cold. At A1 Automotive, we prep your car for whatever winter throws your way here in Nebraska. For battery checks, brake inspections, tires, heaters, whatever your car needs to keep you and your family safe on the road, we've got you covered. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
It's the holiday season. Time for work parties, friend get-togethers, and family gatherings, which means lots of eating. Maybe you think you've perfected your holiday meals, and maybe you have no idea where to even start. Let's fix that right now. No holiday party is complete without Führer's cheese spread. It goes well with any type of cracker, pretzels, apples, chili, vegetable chips, and of course, it's perfect to pair with wine or beer. Holiday meals aren't complete until Führer's cheese spread is on the table. Find your own container at your nearest local grocery store today.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
losing weight.
I have been.
So
all about portion control of each. And hey,
he said it's a buffet.
Whatever this. I mean, this shrimp.
Yeah.
Jay, did you have some?
Yeah, I had some. I had
This
a couple.
is insane, man.
Yeah, it's
This
got
is
some nice
insane.
little,
It's got a
old
little
bay,
kick.
a little Old Bay seasoning on there.
Have you?
I know you don't season your shrimp.
I season my shrimp.
Hey, Nick,
I know that's one of the
say something, Nick,
that's
but
one
I
of the most disrespectful
Yes,
things I could say to
It
Jay.
is.
I know.
to any
Anybody with pigmentation
yes,
in their
any,
in their skin.
any person of color.
Well,
Nick.
see, once again, it all goes full circle on the show because Jay's talked a big game about his barbecue ribs, about a lot of his the meat that he smokes and stuff. I've never been able to taste it. So
Speaking of that, neither have I.
Okay.
I've shot him out. I've told him how good he can cook.
Yeah.
And I still haven't got.
I'm sure it's
I just want
delicious,
one
but
rib.
I like to be a truth teller.
It's scrumdiddly.
And I know some way he'll make me eat chitlins, and I am not
Oh, yeah.
trying to be about that.
I tried to call in on the show the other day when you said you was going to eat some chitlins.
Yeah. You
No,
want some?
No, sir.
I got some. What about
I
pig
haven't
feet?
touched them since what?
Hog
I haven't
maw?
touched.
Neck bone soup?
I
What's
haven't
up?
touched that since I was 12 years old.
Oh,
Jay.
yeah.
Full of flavor.
Yeah,
No way.
full of flavor. It's
No
good.
way.
It's a new
When
version.
you
know,
said
it's a
chitlins, I was
hybrid.
like, what is he doing?
We're bringing it all the way back. We're gonna give you the whole every week from the rooter to the tutor.
I'm
We're
gonna
gonna
starve.
eat the pork.
I'm gonna
Oink, oink.
starve. I'm gonna starve. You eat Snoops?
Anyways,
What don't you eat?
Not
Is it-
gonna answer. Anyways, let's get to some football stuff, Kenny. You've been on the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, I know that you were on with Farley with Bach in the black shirt. Obviously, it's part of the business. You know, you've been in the coaching business. You've been on the other side of the business. You've seen it in every part of athletic or football department. What's your thoughts overall on the defense this year, and what you would like to see moving forward from maybe in the next 3 weeks or in the bowl game, from Nebraska's defense?
Well, I mean, like I said on Farley and the black shirt and Nick Bach in the black shirt, the nature of this business is if you're not getting it done, you won't have a job. Like you said, I've been on the end of that, and it wasn't because we weren't getting it done. It was just there was a coaching change.
Yeah.
So I don't never wish for anyone to get fired, but as a former player, as an alumni, the last 3 games I think is what sealed his fate, not being able to stop the run.
Right.
And and I know, all we stressed was toughness.
Yeah.
Being physical at the point of attack.
Yeah.
If you can't do that, you're not going to have any success in the Big
Right.
Ten. So
Yeah.
if you can be physical, and I guess that's what Rule's saying now, he wants a guy that wants to talk physicality. That should have been talked from day one.
Right.
Talked day one, not just, we
Yeah.
want to do it now. What the defense was based on back
Yeah.
then is physicality, beating that guy in front of you. And if you can't do that on down in and down out, you're not going to beat anybody.
Yeah, I think people don't understand, and in the college game, you have to be able to run the ball, and you have to be able to stop the run in order to be competitive. Obviously, you see Iowa and
Yes.
Wisconsin when they were rolling,
Yes.
they'll show you that. But in the pros, you're trying to stop explosive pass
Passes.
plays. So that's where it's drastically different. And, Nebraska with Tony White, they were pretty physical, and they obviously were pretty, successful, especially at times on defense. And so, we'll see what happens. And, obviously, hopefully they, make some changes. I know Phil Snow's taking over, for the bowl season. But
he and the secondary coach are doing it together, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I know Phil Snow is going to be the call in the defense.
Yeah.
We know the secondary coach is going to be here no matter what.
That's what was said.
So those two can make plans for 2026. But I wanted to ask you, it being how you can make a big impact, or what do you have to mindset has to be for the interim coach? We've seen it with Terry Smith at Penn State. He did a phenomenal
He did
job.
a great job.
Under not ideal situation where your quarterback's hurt, and, your season's over with, early in the season. So what do you think Phil Snow's mindset is? Obviously, he knows Rule, and obviously he's a highly thought of and respected consultant. What do you think that his mindset is, and what he wants to do for this next 3 weeks to get accomplished?
Well, I don't think he wants to make drastic changes. That's for sure. When again, we were in that situation when there was a coaching change, and Bill Bush took over.
Yeah.
The first thing he said was, guys, I want to do things that these kids can do and have success with. And that's what the goal was. Get them to play hard, get them to play fast, and take the thinking out of it for them.
Right.
So that's what I think Phil Snow needs to do, for the next 3 weeks. Because if you try to overhaul a defense in 3 weeks, you're going to be out there. There's going to be a lot of missed assignments.
Yeah.
So you can't take what Coach Butler has done
and just throw it in
the
Yeah.
garbage.
Yeah.
You can tweak it. You try to use his verbiage as much as possible. Like he may say cover 4 is cover 8.
Right.
Phil Snow may call cover 4 cover 8. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Vice versa. But he's going to use the verbiage that he was using and just basically get the kids to play fast.
Right.
Again, if you try to overhaul a defense in three weeks, you ain't going to have no success.
Do you think it'd be a big stretch if they tried to implement more? Because everybody's on the text line to implement one more 4-man front.
It's not.
Yeah.
Because they've had it in there.
Yeah.
They've had it in.
They've done it. They just have to maybe expand that playbook.
They've done it with, I would say, smaller guys.
Yeah.
Try to implement a bigger guy at that position instead of using a smaller guy.
Oh, yeah.
Meaning walking a linebacker down to that 4-man front look to the edge.
Right.
Try to do it with a bigger guy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how he can do it.
Right.
And I think that's how he should do it.
Right. Yeah, I think we had Jeremiah Searles on it. We've talked extensively after games, the difference in 3- and 4-man fronts. A lot of teams play 4-man fronts. But if you major in 4-man fronts, it can really change the way that you look at it. I think then it falls on the players to go execute it. I mean, to Coach Butler's credit, we know they ran bare front against Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you want to be in.
Yes.
It's 3 defensive linemen and 2 linebackers, and it's a run-stopping defense. So now you got to get the execution level up, the tenacity level up, the want-to level up, and then hopefully sometimes – I will tell you this about a coaching change. And, I always try to stay away from fire the coaches and all that because the people that make those decisions, they need to make those. Sometimes when you have somebody, we see in the NFL somebody cut or a coach is fired, all of a sudden guys start to spend a little bit more time in the office, spending more time in the weight room, recover a little bit more, less meals are missed. Sometimes it can be a good thing because it gets a reaction that you were hoping for, and sometimes drastic measures lead to drastic results.
And again, going back to when there was a coaching change and I was on the staff, and that's basically what Mickey tried to do.
Right.
Get them to buy in. Go to when you have a meal to be at. Go to
Be
that
there.
meal.
Yeah.
When you have a study hall appointment, be there on time. You don't miss it. Don't just not show up. So that's the first thing he tried to do was correct that stuff, and then I think his energy enough alone in practice was what got the kids to bump their energy up.
Right.
And I don't think he would allow it to be any other way.
Any other way, yeah. When you talk about Mickey Joseph, obviously down at Grambling, what are some of his unique qualities that made him a really good position coach, but now obviously having a really good year as a head coach?
He's a player's coach.
Yeah.
He's an outspoken coach.
Right.
He's going to hold their feet to the fire. He's demanding, especially at his position. But when he was able to do that with the whole team, it was fun to watch.
Right.
Me being a teammate of his, never working with him.
Right.
Kind of one of the ones that talked him into coming back.
Right.
Just watching the way he operated. I knew if he got the opportunity, he would have success.
Right.
So I've been watching him down there with Grambling. It was good to see one of my former teammates' son catch a touchdown.
Bear Miles Jr.
He got a touchdown finally, so that was good to see. And again, I've been texting Mickey every week, wishing him good luck. And, but I think given a chance, he'll be fine.
Yeah. They had a better year this year than obviously last year, and obviously continue to have a good year next year. So, one more question before we go to break. We're gonna try to get Boyd Epley on here before we put a bow on this bad boy. Kenny, talk about it. Obviously, for people know that obviously you coach for how long you've been coaching? 25 years. You're hanging up the whistle. You're gonna get back into it.
No, that itch is is starting to come back.
Right.
So I talked to a couple of people. Just see where it happens, and it's in God's hands. But that itch is coming back.
Yeah, because you've done it in the recruiting.
Yep.
You've done it in the player relations. You've done it as a position coach. So you'd be an asset to obviously any local school, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
but then obviously anywhere you go. I knew the answer, but I wanted to ask so you could put it out
when
there.
it's in your blood.
Yeah.
That's why when Farley asked me to come on with him to talk football.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. And people don't realize you're able to watch the game at a different speed in the real time, just because you know exactly what to look for, and that's just a byproduct of being able to play and obviously coach.
Yep.
I'll ask you one more question before we go. I asked Coach Solis the same thing. How stressful is it to coach and prepare all week in the meetings? You have player one-on-one talks and all that stuff, and everything looks good Monday through Friday. Then come Saturday, you don't know what the heck they were thinking about doing.
It's crazy you say that because you prepare so hard. You think you got them ready, and then when that ball snapped, and one of my former players texted me the other day. He was watching the game, and the first thing he texted was, "My favorite saying was, you can't do that."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, if I see something you did wrong, my first thing I would say is, "You can't do it." Now I said it in a different tone.
Right.
But he texted me that, and I just busted up laughing.
Yeah.
Because again, you prepare all week, and you think you got the kids ready to play.
Yeah.
And it's on them to ultimately execute what you've done all week, what you prepared before them to. You have meetings on meetings on meetings. And when they don't execute it the way it's supposed to be executed, it looks good in practice.
Yeah.
But when they don't do it in the game, it's just magnified 1,000%. It burns you up inside now.
Right, because you just wonder what could you have done, and it kind of keeps you up at night.
Yes. There's lots of
sleepless nights.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even when you're playing good. Yeah. People don't realize as soon as you play good, you want to play better.
Yep.
Then when you play better, you want to play great.
Yep.
Appreciate you coming on, my
No
brother.
problem, brother.
I was
Appreciate
to get him back in there. He's got the itch.
Yep.
You want to take up all his time now. You ain't gonna be able to get no ribs, brother. You're gonna be in the office. I'll send something to the office.
I was about to say you can deliver Uber Eats.
Yeah, Uber Eats, right? Yeah. Jay Forbes, Kenny Wilhite, Nick Sainer. Quick break. Right back. We're gonna try to get Boyd Epley on.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
This is your year to win way more than bragging rights. At Warhorse Casino, your love of the game could earn you serious cash. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with cash prizes all season long, like up to $1,000 weekly, with your chance at $1 million, all while earning tier points and comp points every time you place a sports bet. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln area. We are going to keep this train rolling in a big way with new half-ton and 4x4 pickup trucks starting at $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You heard that right, $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You pick which one works better for you. Please stop on in the dealership and meet the team or check us out at coppellcars.com. Stock number C280930. All deals with approved credit.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you can bring a friend anytime and so much more when you join today. You heard that right. Conquer the stair climber with your partner in climb. Enjoy a post-workout recovery session in the hydro massage and do it all again with access to any of our 2,700 plus convenient locations. So, you coming? Get all the perks with a PF Black Card for $1 down and $24.99 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends Friday, December 5th. See Club for details.
It's the holiday season. Time for work parties, friend get-togethers, and family gatherings, which means lots of eating. Maybe you think you've perfected your holiday meals, and maybe you have no idea where to even start. Let's fix that right now. No holiday party is complete without Führer's cheese spread. It goes well with any type of cracker, pretzels, apples, chili, vegetable, chips, and of course, it's perfect to pair with wine or beer. Holiday meals aren't complete until Führer's cheese spread is on the table. Find your own container at your nearest local grocery store today. There's only one place this holiday season to shop for the sports fan in your life and get cash back for slightly used sports items you don't need anymore. Play It Again Sports. Check out their selection of new and used items, including home fitness equipment like treadmills, exercise bikes, and ellipticals, and get your lift on with free weights, benches, and racks to add to your home gym. And don't forget, if you have anything slightly used to trade in, they'll give you instant cash. Holiday shopping starts and ends at Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Hey guys, it's Nick. Join Aaron Davis and I next Monday from 9 to 11 a.m. as we broadcast The Drive live from the Lincoln Children's Museum. The museum is getting ready to unveil a brand new exhibit for children 8 to 12 years old on Saturday, December 13th, but we give you a sneak peek on Monday from 9 to 11 a.m. as we broadcast The Drive live from the Lincoln Children's Museum in downtown Lincoln.
Make your next event unforgettable with Grazing Gouda, your local artists and experts in charcuterie and grazed tables. From boardrooms to ballrooms, they turn gatherings into experiences with stunning spreads of artesian cheeses, cured meats, fresh fruits, and gourmet bites. Perfect for corporate luncheons, weddings, parties, or any celebration that deserves a wow moment. They handle the details. You take the compliments. Book your graze table today at grazinggouda.com. Grazing Gouda, because every event deserves to be savored.
Rick Heyman here from Sauter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sauter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sauterheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Did you know that deer collisions are covered under the comprehensive portion of your car insurance? That means, like with hail damage or vandalism, since they are out of your control, they don't usually raise your insurance rates. And that's a good thing, since most deer don't carry liability insurance. At Eustace Body Shop, we fixed all kinds of animal collision damage, from cows to raccoons, bobcats, and even turkeys. We can't do much for the animal, but we can get your car back on all fours and looking like new again.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Water heater gone? Call Bryant. The price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. And in most cases, same-day replacement. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That segment, Jay Foreman, Nick Sainer, another special guest. About 5 or 10 minutes left. Boyd Epley, the guy that's set the foundation, in my opinion, for Nebraska football to be ahead of the curve. Welcome, Boyd. We're out here at Nebraska, great foundation. Obviously, you're involved in that, and obviously we appreciate you coming out and supporting. Obviously, your presence is obviously always felt. And I always wanted to ask you, the way football is now, and obviously with the athletes, what are some of the things that you know that you possibly could implement to, or would think that would maybe lessen the curve or sharpen the curve for a team like Nebraska, or a team like we're looking at Virginia and Duke trying to really, make a name for themselves in college football?
I think football boils down to speed and agility.
Right.
And if we focus on those two things, we'll be a little bit better. Our offensive line looks like they could use a little work. Not trying to, say anything real negative here, but in my years here, the offensive line was a real focus,
right?
And it really helped us be in a position to score.
In this day and age of college athletics and college football, do you still believe that everything starts and is built out from the lines?
Oh, yes. Yeah. If you have a good offensive line, you're going to move the ball. That opens up the passing game, running game whenever you need it. And that would be a focus.
Yeah. Boyd, when you first started and obviously really took the Nebraska football program and made, big strides, and obviously where we were able to use the weight room and the progress there to be, obviously physicality and all that. People always think about toughness. What are some of the things that you look for or that you implemented in your programs to make guys tough? Is it solely in the weight room? Is it the running? Is it the conditioning? Or is it the agility? Because agility days were just as hard as the sprint days. I know from personal experience. Talk about what you focus on or what you wanted to do to make a team more physical.
Well, I think football depends on speed and agility. And so the focus, whether it's in the weight room or in the running drills, needs to be on developing speed and agility. And lifting weights assists in that area. It doesn't do the complete job.
Right.
You need to get in there and run and do the drills, besides building up the leg strength to allow you to do that. So it's a combination of things, but the focus would be on improving speed and agility, and you're going to be hard to beat.
Yeah. You know, one of the things I think that I learned when I got here, and obviously when you come out of high school, you don't have any idea, you know, what a weight program is. No matter what high school you go to, you're not ready for, at least when we were here at Husker Power. Talk about flexibility, because I think my flexibility, along with the agility drills and strength and conditioning program, really took me to a whole nother level. Talk about the importance of flexibility and how somebody could go about building that as well.
Well, flexibility is important as you develop the things I just said.
Right.
But if that's all you did,
right,
you wouldn't be playing. You'd be like fourth string.
Right. Yeah.
So flexibility has its importance, but not nearly what speed and power have for you. You got to have power, and you got to have change of direction.
Yeah, when you think about the speed and power and change of direction, how do you, like, when you see, like, I remember Zach Wiegert telling me when he came in, he was obviously, you know, heard his senior year, but he was a basketball player. How do you put a specific plan? I was a part of this as well, where you're like, okay, this is where I want, where you start at. This is where you need to be after year one, year two, and then you are probably in a meeting with Coach Osborne at that time, Coach Milt Tinniper. Okay, I feel like he's ready to play because he's at, you know, certain check marks.
Well, the coaches have a lot to do with what the plan is,
right,
and what the effort is. A guy like Neil Smith needed to gain 50 pounds right away. He was like 6'5" or 6'7", maybe even, and he needed to gain 50 pounds.
Right.
So we just had to rely on his eating habits to improve about 3,500 calories a meal.
Right, yeah.
And so he gained 50 pounds in 50 weeks.
Right.
Because his diet changed.
Right.
And in the meantime, of course, we had him doing the normal lifting program, and he ended up improving his speed. It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable how fast he was after gaining 50 pounds in the weight room.
You know, by your estimation, obviously Nebraska, you know, with all the record books and you know, great, you just keep the testing. Who are some of the most explosive or best athletes that have came through Nebraska that have went through your testing that you're like, man, that guy, what not only was naturally, obviously gifted and strong, but then obviously when he got done, he was really, really one of your top producers.
You know, Curtis Cotton's name comes to my mind.
Right.
He was just solid in every category that we've been talking about, and a really good football player, and set a great example in the weight room. And you know, the younger kids look up to the older kids, and Curtis was a guy that did everything right.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he's legendary. I mean, we used to, Coach Samuel used to talk about him. Coach Darlington used to talk about how explosive he was. And, you know, obviously in different, you know, meeting rooms and so forth and so on. Who's probably the most naturally gifted?
Johnny Rogers, no question.
Yeah.
He came through college at the time when Charlie Green was still on the campus. Charlie was the fastest man in the world. And so I had Charlie train with Johnny Rogers, because Johnny had great agility, but he didn't have the great speed. He, of course, was fast, 4.6 maybe. But we got him down to about a 4.4 by training with the fastest man in the world, Charlie Green.
Yeah, that's it. Well, you got to be innovative, and you got to be, you know, willing to go out of the box when you have a really great, obviously, athlete in Johnny Rogers. Before we let you go, I remember when I was a redshirt freshman, trying to, you know, get my ducks in a row, and you told me the story how you became the weight coach. Started over there at the rec. Tell everybody the story, because I think it's one of the coolest stories ever, and it made a big impression on me, and I still think about it to this day.
Well, I was a pole vaulter for Nebraska and spent time in the weight room because I had trained in Phoenix, Arizona in high school and college. And I came to Nebraska, and they just didn't have that effort. They just didn't, not that they didn't believe in it, they just didn't emphasize it at all. You could go in the weight room and use it if you wanted, but there wasn't any coaches pushing you to do that. And so I knew that wasn't the answer.
Right.
And I started helping the injured players that would come in. And all of a sudden, Coach Osborne noticed that some of these injured players are coming back to practice, and they're
quicker and stronger,
they're
right? Yeah.
knocking heads.
Yeah.
And so he asked them, "What's going on here?" And they said, "Well, we've been lifting in the weight room." And so he tracked me down, asked me to come over to his office. He took me in to see Bob Devaney, and they asked me if I could. I was still a track scholarship athlete. Asked me if I could help the football team, and I said I'd be happy to. And Devaney said, "Yeah, we'll give this a try, but if anybody gets slower, you're fired."
Yeah. Oh, hey, listen. Sometimes you got to try it on a humbug. You go all in, and it works out, and then next thing you know, you're the godfather of weight coaches.
Yeah. So fortunately, they got faster and improved, and then it became mandatory about a year later.
Yeah. Listen. You got to have some foresight to do that. So we appreciate you. I know you had a big impact on me. Obviously, being able to, obviously exceed expectations and get to where I was going. So Boyd Epley, Jay Foreman, Nick Sain, appreciate you stopping out here.
Thank you very much.
Nebraska Greats Foundation out here, Liquid Assets. We'll holler at you next week. No Husker game, but we got to do.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320. There's only one place this holiday season to shop for the sports fan in your life and get cash back for slightly used sports items you don't need anymore. Play It Again Sports. Check out their selection of new and used items, including home fitness equipment like treadmills, exercise bikes, and ellipticals, and get your lift on with free weights, benches, and racks to add to your home gym. And don't forget, if you have anything slightly used to trade in, they'll give you instant cash. Holiday shopping starts and ends at Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
My early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take, but it gave my mom and me more time to plan together.
Talk to your family about seeing a doctor. Go to alz.org/time-to-talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
There's no better way to spark a child's imagination than to get lost in the adventure of a good book. I'm Jenny Benson, president of NSEA. Working together, parents and teachers can help every child succeed. You can help by reading to your child and let your child read to you. Encourage reading in your home and make it a priority. Make reading